And if you missed the announcement on Friday, it's official. Joining us 5 days a week on the program. Well, Ray Dunn's already there 5 days a week. Good morning, Ray.
Hey, good morning.
Is Sean Brace.
Hey,
Sean Brace. Oh.
Hey.
Jake, where was it, John?
Horn me, baby. Horn me.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Look at this. John Kincade, fresh off of vacay in St. Lucia.
Thank you, John.
God bless him.
I found my coffee.
He's looking tan and ready to go for the legal tampering period here, John.
What's up, everybody? Legal tampering begins in less than 2 hours now. That means it is the illegal tampering period is about to close then, right?
I guess that's how it works.
So it's amazing how quickly they were able to come to agreements during the legal tampering period, because normally deals start getting done immediately at 12 o'clock. But so, I don't know, guys. What did you think of the weekend, the Jordan Davis thing? Kind of, I'm not surprised they did it. I guess mildly surprised that they did an extension with him. But now that it's done, they want to keep him. They consider him a building block. Jalen Carter's name remains in some trade rumors, and A.J. Brown. It did not get done over the weekend. Sean Brace, your thoughts?
Yeah, it did not. There's a lot to tackle. Of course, I was live on Saturday when Jordan Davis was signed to the contract extension, which was, look, he's earned it, right? Let's start and end there. This is a guy that was drafted back in 2023, 13th overall pick, and or not 13th overall pick, excuse me.
Yeah.
Was it 13th? Okay, yeah.
They traded up to get him.
Yeah, look, I look at, Jordan Davis as a guy that's, it's been fun to watch and who could not stay on the field more than, the rundowns in the beginning of his career. And for my money, never really, put the fear in the quarterback's eyes in those first two seasons. But then something changed and mentally was the biggest difference maker for him because obviously he did a lot, in the offseason to come in and lose weight and be in shape, ready to go. And, of course, he had a good season in the third, but last year was his best year. I mean, he was awesome last year.
He was awesome.
So he's earned it. I am all about it. Defense wins championships, and Howie Roseman starts with the one that he could not afford to lose, in my opinion.
So he had the 1 year left on his rookie contract. It wasn't that long ago, Ray, you may have been one saying it like, you're not going to exercise this fifth year because the way he was playing, you had real questions about paying somebody that much. But so he's got his fifth-year option, $78 million over 3 years on top of that, $65 million guaranteed. Before we dive into the A.J. Brown stuff, your thoughts on extending
Slim JD?
Oh,
come on,
Jordan
man.
Davis.
Pelotons for everybody. Let's go. I'm thrilled to have this guy back. I mean, we're going to need more from him on passing downs, but we could get there at this point. I think it's a bet on what they're going to get. The price tag you pay for this one is not because you saw what he could do as an early down, pretty much run stuffer. This is they think he could become the full package. And I also think they value the voice he's become in that room. They've talked a lot, it's seemingly, to reporters about, hey, we see he's become a leader. He's become a vocal guy. I think anyone that's been in that locker room has been like, yeah, he was someone we went to this past season. And that's good to see because the old guard that you think of in the trenches for this organization is pretty much gone, if not going to be gone very soon.
Right. Yeah, so there's the question of now Jalen Carter, and we'll get into that coming up in a second. But we wanted to give you the latest on A.J. Brown. I didn't think it was going to happen this weekend because, negotiations generally aren't as clean as oh, yeah, okay, Howie wants a first and a second. Okay, well, we'll give you a first and a third, and we'll say, okay, we meet in the middle, and it's good. I don't know. It just never felt like that to me. This is a negotiation. Here's what's clear to me, that the Eagles want to trade A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown wants to be traded from the Eagles. Now, do the Eagles want to trade A.J. Brown because they know A.J. Brown wants to be traded, and he's not going to be happy here, or the Eagles just – because that's what I think it is. All else being equal, if A.J. Brown's really happy here and everything's great, I don't think the Eagles are even considering trading him right now. But the fact that he obviously wants to be traded – For the crowd out there that says, oh, no one actually, they don't really want to trade him. This is all crap. Why would the Eagles want to trade him? Listen to what the insiders are saying. Doesn't it seem like that Howie, I don't want to say desperately, but he definitely is trying to get a deal done. Is that something that like you're getting creative to try to trade A.J. Brown? Is that a team that is just pretending that they want to trade A.J. Brown and ultimately don't want to?
Can I just say, though, I did listen to the Insider on Friday, and he told me that I think he gets moved. He told me to buckle up, Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network. I'm still buckled up, John. The A.J. Brown situation room, I had to send everybody home yesterday. Nothing happened over the weekend.
Here's Garafolo on the NFL Network talking about the trade and Howie, Mr. Creative. Here it is.
Howie Roseman, and this shouldn't really come as a surprise, was trying to be creative about these negotiations with teams and saying, well, could we do sort of a split deal? Like do half the deal now and then what Ian was talking about, finish the rest of the deal after June 1st. This way it's not as bad against the team's salary cap. Immediately, they can spread A.J. Brown's hit moving into the future. Teams were saying, no, you do trades all at one time. That's how it works. But Roseman's trying to be creative because this is a tough situation for him. He can trade him after June 1st to help with the salary cap implications, but he's got to carry that number for now. And then other teams are going to move on and say, well, we're not getting A.J. Brown. We're doing other things. So that market could dry up even further. It's a very complicated one. Roseman's trying to find a solution. We'll see if he can before the start of the league year. If not, this will be something around the draft and maybe even in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just what I need.
Yeah.
That's the carrot going to June. That'd be awesome. So,
yeah, he's the one that told me to buckle up on Friday, John.
couple things.
I'm still buckled.
A team that, because remember what the company line was? Well, the Eagles don't have to trade A.J. Brown, but they'll take calls on him. BS. The Eagles are prepared to trade A.J. Brown, and they're trying to get a deal done. And they should try to get a deal done now. Because, yeah, you're right. If there's not a deal to be made out there, you're not going to make a deal just to make a deal, especially if the Patriots are being tight about it, right? But it's pretty clear to me that you get creative in a deal, not when it's like, hey, we'll put, like for example, with Jalen Carter. I believe the Eagles are discussing Jalen Carter, but they're not sure, like, they don't feel like they have to trade him, and I don't think he ultimately gets traded. But if a team would have come out and say, hey, we'll give you 2 first-round draft picks for Jalen Carter, I believe he gets traded. It's not like that with A.J. Brown. A lot of people early on in this process were saying, well, if you come to the Eagles and you wow him with an offer, no. The Eagles are trying to make a deal. It's a matter of whether they will or not. And I truly believe this. If the team wants the player, and I believe the Patriots want the player, at this point, this is a negotiation. They're not just going to give Howie whatever he wants. They're going to make them sweat a little bit because Howie wants to move on, and they just want to move forward. Because also with A.J. Brown, you're going to pay A.J. Brown $30 million a year in addition to all these other players that need to be paid. It's tough.
Yeah.
So if you wait another year, what value are you getting for him? You do it now if you can get the first-round draft pick. The Patriots, they're saying, aren't giving up a first-round draft pick for him.
Well, I think it comes back to the fact that they don't want to give up next year's first-round pick, right? And that's the big issue because this year is the 31st, and then, that's essentially a second-round pick. So that's where they're the bumping of the heads. Or potentially there could be some other things being discussed. I know one thing that I was talking about this weekend that remember the early wording that we heard was that the Eagles are looking for a Quinnen Williams package, right?
Yep.
And if you go back and look at that deal, a player was added, there was a first and a second, and oh, by the way, a pick swap. Like that was a really good deal for the Cowboys, for the Jets, and the Cowboys got a good player who helped them on the defensive side of the ball. So you would expect that, okay, that's where that comes out of some place and there's some truth behind it. So I was waiting to hear all right, they're looking for a little bit extra in the deal with the Patriots. However, also, I know we joked about this on Friday with Rossini. It was backed up by Ian Rappaport over the weekend that the Chargers did have interest in him. So it seems like there's 2 teams that could have interest right now for A.J. Brown. Patriots at the top, Chargers number 2. We'll see what happens there, but I do expect one of those teams to say, you know what? Let's just do it, because you look at the free agents at the wide receiver position. We've already been down it 100 times.
You have Pierce.
It's lackluster.
You have
it really
Evans,
is.
You have Evans, who I think he goes back to Tampa.
I do too.
What did he play? How many games did he play last year?
Yeah, he gets dinged up from time to time. You're right. But
good player.
Yeah, he is, and he's a little up there in age. You can make the case either way, hang on to the draft capital, continue to build. Are the Patriots as close? Somebody made this conversation, or at this point over the weekend too, John, where they said, if you look back at the Commanders, they thought they were one piece away. And no, obviously they weren't. So are the Patriots now going to look at the Commanders going, all right, we're only one piece away. Let's go ahead and get A.J. Brown. Or you know what? Let's continue to draft well, build this thing the right way.
Or miss the playoffs last year because you have no urgency to try to improve your team.
A couple ways you can look at it.
That's the way I look at it. All right, so here's the deal. Normally we have a nice long segment to start. We changed it up a little bit to where it's a shorter segment to start, and then we have the long segment coming up next. And it's a good time to get in at 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. We'll give you our official percentage on Monday. Is the A.J. Brown trade happening? The latest from Ian Rappaport and also Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips, a lot of people think is going to sign pretty much when free agency starts. We'll see. That's coming up at 12 o'clock. We will be live. We will bring every rumor. Ray will decide whether or not it's an actual real rumor. It's just some guy on Twitter, like what happened last week. That guy deleted his account. What was his name?
Yeah. Ricky the Rat.
Ricky
Scoops, who apparently has had good stuff before, had like 90,000 followers.
And he had the Eagles trading for Crosby, which didn't happen.
Very real guy.
Yes,
okay.
no, it's happened before.
Ricky
All right,
Scoops.
We have all that coming up next. 610-632-0975. Phone line, text line, the latest on A.J. Brown from Rap Sheet. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5, The Fanatic Sports Update.
Legal tampering day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The NFL's legal tampering period begins at noon. Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert, all scheduled to be free agents. As we will see if they depart from the Philadelphia Eagles. Another name that we're watching, of course, A.J. Brown. Here's the latest from Ian Rappaport.
Does not seem as of right now that there is momentum toward this deal. Anything can happen. These deals can change on a dime.
We'll see if things change on a dime. We'll talk to Brandon Gowton coming up at 11 o'clock about everything going on with the Eagles ahead of free agency. Sixers return to the floor tonight in Cleveland against the Cavs. They'll be without Tyrese Maxey. He sprained his pinky in Saturday's loss to the Hawks. Will be out for tonight's game and tomorrow night's game. You can listen tonight at 7 o'clock right here on The Fanatic. Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7. You can listen to that game on WMMR. This update is brought to you by Aleve. Sometimes weather and body pain can slow you down, but don't let pain stop you. It's just one pill. Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Ray Dunn in your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5, The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Back. Middays with Marks and Sean Brace and Ray Dunn on a legal tampering Monday. Coming up here, the rumors are going to be hot and heavy. The reports will be coming out, and we have something from Ian Rappaport, the latest on A.J. Brown, in 1 second. But I just want to remind people how you can get a hold of the show, which is phone line. It's all the same number, by the way, Ray Dunn. So you should put it in your phone, 610-632-0975. But now we're also offering not only the text line, so you text, but also, Sean, you send a voice text to us.
Love it.
So when you're texting, just think about how you text somebody. So you're going in there and you're like, all right, let me text the Fanatic, 610-632-0975. When you go in there, there's a little plus sign. If you have an iPhone, there's a little plus sign to the left of where the message is. If you click that plus sign, a box pops up with camera, photo, stickers. Hit the audio button. And then you can actually start recording immediately and then stop it and then hit send. And it will come to us, and then Negative Nate in the back will turn that around quickly, and it's like a phone call. It can be short. It can be a little bit longer, but, we're not going to put a 3-minute voice text to us.
No.
But, and here's what we ask. Name, location, and Sean prefers if you put occupation.
Yeah, I want to.
And frankly, so do I.
Yeah, I think it adds a little flavor. Little texture,
Hey, this is Ray calling from Oaks, Pennsylvania, play-by-play announcer.
Ooh.
I was in Oaks yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
For the Phillies show.
Was there for the Phillies show and then went, saw my parents. Had a nice little dinner.
Didn't call me.
Very nice.
I will let you know next time my family's having a family dinner, John. Figured you would be the first call there.
There you go.
Did you get anything at the Phillies show?
No, I didn't.
Did you get Reggie Jackson to sign anything?
Was he there?
Those
The
lines
pride
are-
of Cheltenham High School.
Reggie's a local guy?
1969. He graduated with my friend's dad. Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, Cheltenham High School.
I just had a brain fart, I
He hadn't
think.
been back since.
About that.
Oh, no, yeah. They had a lot of people there, though. Ray Lewis, Chipper Jones.
Those shows get a ton of big
Randall was in the house. I'm trying to think of other, they do it right. They feature a Philly team most of the time.
About 1,000 Dawkins jerseys there.
Yeah, about that.
All right, so you heard me on how to send the voice text, the regular text, and then the phone call. That's how you do it. Ian Rappaport, this is fresh off the presses from this morning discussing the A.J. Brown situation.
The Eagles have had active conversations with at least 4 teams. The Buffalo Bills, who, of course, have traded for DJ Moore, the Los Angeles Chargers, who had some interest, the Rams, who have checked in from time to time, and the New England Patriots. Just does not seem, as of right now, that there is momentum toward this deal. Anything can happen. These deals can change on a dime. If one team says, you know what, we're going to offer maybe a little more than we had anticipated or wanted, certainly they could do the deal. And the Patriots having Coach Mike Vrabel there and his relationship with A.J. Brown makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if the two sides are going to get there. And if it doesn't happen by noon today, free agency frenzy starts and teams are kind of off and running. I do wonder if at that point, Kyle, they say, you know what, let's put a pin in this, revisit it at a later time.
So this is a negotiation. If the Patriots still want A.J. Brown, they'll find a way to get it done. Mm-hmm. If Howie wants to move the player, they'll find a way to get it done. At this point, when the stop of forward momentum towards a trade, at some point you reach the stalemate where it's we're not giving you a first-round pick, or like you had said, we're not giving you next year's first-round pick. We'll give you 31, and you have to give us a 4th round in return. Whatever the negotiations are, it's clear that they've been trying to get a deal done. Now, does this mean that it has to get done? No. I still think it does. I still think it gets done, but if you're the Patriots, why would you just give Howie Roseman whatever he wants? It's called a negotiation for a reason. I still think they get it done, but the Patriots are, try not to give up what the Eagles want, right?
I'm holding steady. I can't flip-flop anymore.
All right, where are you?
I think I've flip-flopped probably 6 times already, so I can't do it.
But see,
You
I
and
don't.
everyone else, man.
All right.
I don't think it's flip-flopping. I think it's the feel and the new information.
Yes, and the insiders got to me on Friday where it's like, buckle up, let's go. And as you heard, I'm saying it tongue-in-cheek, these things do change. One thing could obviously lead to another. Another team's all of a sudden interested, whatever it is. Where am I at right now? I'm still holding steady. A.J. Brown will be moved. I don't want it. Let's get that clear.
Percentage.
I'm going to hold 90%.
90%.
90% he's still getting moved. I still believe that there could be a team that we're not discussing, like the Houston Texans, like some team out of nowhere.
I don't believe the Chargers.
You don't believe the Chargers?
No, I don't. I believe that's planted because they need the illusion of some other team to be involved because there's been really no further reporting on that. It's just been kind of like, oh, yeah, the Chargers are interested, and then it's like no one ever reported on it again.
Yeah.
So, in other words, Howie's like, yeah, the Chargers are interested, but, like, where has that story been advanced?
I'll take Lad McConkey in return. You think that could happen?
No.
Yeah.
I would, too.
It's a nice thought.
All right, Ray, percentage chance A.J. Brown gets moved. By the way, Brandon Lee Gouton, Bleeding Green Nation, joins us at 11.
Nice.
He was at a 0% chance that I guess 100% chance that A.J. Brown gets traded.
Correct.
We'll see where he is at 11 o'clock. Where are you?
55. We're just too close. It's almost noon. We're about to start the whole tampering thing. Everyone's starting to plan their lives.
Here's where I still sit at 80. The Patriots would have to move off of A.J. Brown and either not sign Pierce or sign Pierce. And by signing Pierce, you're signing a guy that didn't even have 50 receptions last year, and it's going to cost you $25 to $28 million a year.
But Bill Simmons prefers that.
Or, well, great for Bill Simmons. Or don't sign Pierce and go out and look at Evans or some of these other wide receivers. I guess they could, but it's pretty clear to me that Vrabel wants A.J. Brown and the team wants A.J. Brown. So if the team wants A.J. Brown and Howie Roseman knows that he wants to trade A.J. Brown and A.J. Brown wants to be traded, then they're going to get a deal done. Because otherwise, the deal doesn't get done. The Patriots go and they sign another wide receiver and they're not necessarily happy. And then the Eagles are moving and they're still trying to trade them. And I don't know, like it's just messy. Isn't the best thing for all sides, Patriots, Eagles, Brown, is just to get a deal done now?
Yeah, look, I think you could. I mean, these guys are all professionals. It's a business. They've been down this path before. I'm sure a lot of these guys have been discussed in some sort of rumor before. But this is tough. This is a tough one for me to say, put the toothpaste back in the tube and everything's going to be good with A.J. returning. But I will say the card that Howie has in his pocket is like, A.J., I tried to move you. I tried. You know, look, like we were definitely kicking the tires. We had, some good conversations, but I can't trade you for what they were offering me. And, oh, by the way, guess what, AJ? I could have potentially sent you to Cleveland. I could have potentially sent you to Arizona. You gave me a list of a couple teams to work with. I tried, and it didn't happen. So now you got to come back to Philadelphia and play on a winning team. Boo-hoo.
Or, hey, AJ, why don't you call up and talk to Vrabel again and get him to give us that first-round draft pick? Right? Like the agent needs to be working this as well to get it done. All right, so that's the latest on A.J. Brown. I don't expect this to happen today. I don't. I think this is what happens. The Patriots have to have a backup plan, right? It's if the A.J. Brown stuff doesn't happen, where are they pivoting?
It's Pierce.
You think it's Pierce?
The backup plan?
Well, then they need to do it done. He'll get signed immediately.
That's where I'm at.
So if he gets signed immediately and it's not by the Patriots, because that seriously, like at this point, this is when if they're really going to go after Pierce, then a deal will get done now. If a deal's going to get done. If Pierce goes to the Patriots, AJ's coming back. Unless Howie can then regenerate a market and talk another team into, hey, the Chargers, are you interested? I don't believe Pierce is going to go to the Patriots. I don't know where he's going to go. Maybe back to Indianapolis to the Colts. And I expect Pierce to get signed pretty early in the process. I think this drags into the week. Because then it gets to, okay, well, like, what's the backup plan if we're not going to have A.J. Brown? If their backup plan is we'll see, or it's, hey, well, maybe like Mike Evans, some players aren't going to get off the board right away. Evans may not get off the board right away, right?
That's a good point.
It may take a couple days for this to happen. This may go later on in the week. But if the Patriots sign somebody right away, it's over. And then you have to wonder if there's anybody else out there that's going to be willing to meet an asking price for A.J. Brown. And I don't expect that to happen. And we'll find out if I'm completely wrong or not, Ray.
Yeah, while we're talking about these teams and where you could go potentially, I know we talked about the Chargers in there. The other team in L.A. was mentioned in that Rapport clip, and we all could be very clear on this one. He goes to the Rams. That's like DEFCON 5 for all of us, right? Like we're all freaking
Isn't
out.
Devontae Adams on their team?
He mentioned the Rams. I'm just saying.
Reacting
to the report.
So, yeah, but hang on. He can mention whoever he wants. Tell me how that makes sense.
It doesn't.
Okay, well, then let's leave it at that.
Okay, that's fine. But the fact that the Rams are even poking around at this thing.
And they just signed the cornerback to the biggest contract in history. So then they're going to go out and they're going to trade assets that they already don't have. They traded all their first-round draft picks away.
I don't know what they're going to do.
McDuffie. Now, the Chiefs could potentially be in the running for A.J. Brown services, right? But apparently they're not. Yeah, they have their eyes on a running back.
The Bills are out. I'm not telling you the Chargers couldn't be in. It just when I hear the Chargers are in, then I hear nothing else other than the Chargers are in. Okay, I'm sure the Chargers have made calls. and things like that. But have the Chargers, it's clear they were deep in negotiations, the Patriots and the Eagles, right?
Yeah, look, everybody's making calls. Even the Eagles made a call about Max Crosby, according to Albert Breer.
I heard the Eagles called the Eagles about A.J. Brown. That's how interested they were in it. Yeah, of course. Everybody. Howie's talking to everybody.
He should.
He should. Max Crosby gets traded to the Ravens. Yeah, I think the Eagles definitely were inquiring about that. And do I think that they floated the name of Jalen Carter in trade talks? You're damn right I do.
2 first-round picks.
All right, so let's hear the latest on Jalen Phillips, and then we'll talk about the Jalen Carter situation. Jalen Phillips, here's more rap sheet on Jalen Phillips.
For Jalen Phillips, the Philadelphia Eagles standout edge rusher, someone who's traded midseason, really found his footing very quickly once again in Vic Fangio's defense. 2 sacks for Philly, but that really doesn't speak to the kind of impact that he made on that defense. My understanding yesterday was there's significant momentum toward a deal for Jalen Phillips staying in Philly. We'll see if they're able to finalize this and figure it out this morning.
I would be really surprised. I was going to say shocked, Ray. I'd be really surprised if Jalen Phillips wasn't an Eagle early in the process. You guys agree?
I'm refreshing the app right now just because I'm thinking it's going to happen before noon.
Because they were saying that it could happen before free agency starts?
See, I look at what just took place with Jordan Davis. You got Phillips now out there. Carter, put that to the side because he's not going anywhere. They got him for another 2 more seasons.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay. But Phillips, absolutely. I just think that is when they traded the third round pick, it was job number 1 to get him back with the Philadelphia Eagles for next season.
The end market's soft.
I just look at him, what he was able to do. He played in all 17 regular season games last year, had his moments. Like, things could not be better for Jalen Phillips and the Eagles. Get the deal done.
All right. So let's talk juicy story. Now, this isn't the first time the name was put out there of Jalen Carter, right? So Jalen Carter's name, again, mentioned in trade rumors. Now, the first one wasn't mentioned by some talking head, like insider. It was mentioned by Micah Parsons in a potential trade where he mentioned, he threw it out there like, yeah, they were offering Jalen Carter. Exactly what did he say? He was just like almost rather matter-of-factly like, oh, yeah, they were offering Jalen Carter in the trade or whatever. It's like, huh? What? Jalen Carter?
Because then he goes on to say, I didn't want to go there if I wasn't going to play with Jalen Carter.
Right, exactly. So the Eagles very quietly throwing Jalen Carter out there in trade talks, and then on Friday with Max Crosby, the name has been out there. And again, so now you get the, the Eagles are taking calls, or they've received calls on Jalen Carter. Have they received calls, or are they having open dialogue about, hey, what do you think? The Eagles aren't going to trade Jalen Carter just to trade Jalen Carter. But the Eagles would be wise to consider Jalen Carter at this moment if you can get 2 first-round draft picks for him. You see what Quentin Williams is worth. You see what Micah Parsons is worth. While he may not be a defensive end, a defensive tackle that wreaks havoc is if you can get 2 first-round draft picks. You already paid Jordan Davis. You're going to have to pay Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to have to pay Cooper DeJean. Everybody on your offense is making a ton of money. You can't pay everybody $30 million on your team a year. And if you're paying Jalen Phillips $20+ million a year, doesn't it seem like that you almost have to decide between Davis and Carter? Because who's their defensive ends that on the team right now? Jalix Hunt, he's going to have to get a new contract at some point, so you're going to have to pay him. But you're talking about, like, Jordan Davis is making $26 million a year. Jalen Carter's going to make $35 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to make Aaron Donald-type money. So are you willing to, between your two starting tackles on defense, pay $60 million a year between the two? And the other thing for me, Jalen Carter he's a wrecking ball. I love him. Mm-hmm. Came into camp out of shape. And he's had questionable, I'm not talking about the car thing or whatever, but when he was at Georgia, coaches weren't necessarily his biggest fans, at least some that were talking behind the scenes. So I'm not trying to say anything bad about Jalen Carter. They know on the inside better than we do.
Yes.
And if they're having conversations about Jalen Carter, what it tells me is they realize how good of a player he is, and if they can get 2 first-round draft picks for him, I think that they would do it.
Yeah, look, I think you nailed it when the conversations that are taking place behind the scenes, they know more than us, right? Because I'm having a hard time connecting the dots on you would move off of a guy like of his capability, of his ability when he's out there. And 9th overall pick, you drafted him, but he fell. And
For a reason.
And I think at this point in time, you say to yourself, all right, well, look, we got a lot of great play out of him. This might be the time to sell high. However, my only thing that I would push back on is you have him under contract for at least 2 more years.
Which what makes him valuable now.
Correct. But, like,
and that second year, it's a lot of money.
you give me Jordan Davis, you give me Jalen Carter, you give me Phillips, you give me the cornerbacks, right? Like, you got yourself a hell of a defense.
You do. Yep.
I don't want to lose this. I sure as heck don't want to lose A.J. Brown and Jalen Bleepin Carter in the same offseason.
You know what? I mean, at this point, if you keep him, aren't you just saying we're bringing him back, that we're going to sign him to a contract extension? Unless you're going to, you could just play out the 5th year. Typically, that doesn't happen with players the caliber of Jalen Carter. They'll be very unhappy about that. You're going to extend them. You're going to play hardball with them. Typically, the Eagles don't play hardball with players. Either they extend them or they don't. And they're having conversations with Drew Rosenhaus. They know how much they're going to have to play him.
I love the fact that he's represented by Drew. Yeah.
And Drew, if I say 35, Drew's saying 45.
Oh, man, he is such a good player, and I still feel like he hasn't reached his potential. But maybe, like you said, things are happening behind the scenes where it's like, he hasn't taken that next step in their eyes. We consider him to be on the same level as Aaron Donald, but he's clearly not. Aaron Donald was a whole different type of player. I still would rather go to battle next year with Jalen Carter than not.
Yeah, I don't think, Ray, I don't think it's going to happen. But I also believe that the Eagles are having conversations, and it's just not the obligatory, oh, yeah, well, they're taking calls on him. In other words, well, they're not talking, like they're just taking calls and listening.
Right. It's not the nobody's untouchable.
Right.
It's the
your phone rings.
Concerns, and before we just throw a contract extension out there, let's see what value you can extract from a guy like this. Like, how much is the word around the NFL about how he is inside of our building? And to the whole point here, one of the reasons why they love Nakobe Dean in there and why I think Jordan Davis gets a big paycheck, those are 2 voices that their most talented defensive player listens to. So Davis is still going to be here. Dean's not going to be here. And of those Georgia guys, that was the one thing. Like, hey, if there was a locker room for Jalen Carter to end up in the NFL, one with Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis was a great one because he respected those voices. They were guys that he looked up to at Georgia. One of them's not going to be here. One was just locked in. But I think a part of this is, okay, if he can't figure it out with these guys, do they feel like he's going to figure it out to get to his full potential worth whatever they're going to end up having to pay him?
Right, when you draft really well, you know what happens? You get screwed when you got to extend those guys. And when you draft everybody pretty much, think about the drafts that they've had.
Oh, yeah.
Same draft, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. You're looking at $55 million a year between those 2 players.
2 All-Pros.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then you have Davis, you have Carter a year later, right?
Does that mean Howie should knock it off? Start drafting some duds?
Let's get some Arthega-Whitesides back in here, Ray.
Where's Jalen Rager at when you need him, man?
I mean, what are we doing here?
Give us a break.
Come on.
Howie, man. But honestly, with Dallas drafted really well, and then they had to sign all those guys. And you're not active in free agency when you have guys you're keeping and like this year. The Eagles aren't going to be going out in free agency and signing a big name. They're going to be trying to keep their own guy, and they drafted so well they don't have a lot of replacements that they need to make. You look around the NFL, Parsons being moved before he got a contract extension, and Quentin Williams being moved by the Jets. Howie looks at that and says, so you're telling me I can get 2 first-round draft picks for Jalen Carter? And we know Jalen Carter's a great player, but Jordan Davis is buying in more, or we feel like Jordan Davis is probably the safer bet and less money, and we get first-round draft picks. The Eagles have a lot of work they need to do replacing their offensive line.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes.
Tight end.
Depth issues, yeah. And if Phillips,
wide receiver.
If Phillips doesn't sign, you got to replace the defensive end. So there is a lot of holes, and it makes sense. Like, you're making a great case, and I have no issues with the conversation. I'm just having a hard time really believing that, man, this is something that could take place. And it really could. It's the reality of the NFL and the business. But Jalen Carter is a beast, and I don't want to see him go anywhere. And I think that, if you do challenge, maybe something like this is the best thing for him.
Yeah.
The rumors are out there. Hey, man, your name is being discussed.
In the right spot, he could, a team like the Raiders, so they put him out there for the Raiders, so they say, let's just say this was the case. We want Max Crosby. They're asking for 2 first-round draft picks. We're not giving them 2 first-round draft picks. We'll give them Jalen Carter, and then you give us something back in return, and they would maybe consider it. So this is
Jalen Carter in Vegas.
probably not a good idea.
Probably not.
But this isn't something that happens now. This may be the big talk leading up to the draft. Because this is a move you would make. This is in free agency, you go to fill needs and holes, but ultimately the Jalen Carter move is a move that is bigger than just free agency. This is he's the best player on our defense, and it's before the draft.
Oh, you're telling me I'm going from a February and March of AJ talk to a March and April of Jalen Carter talk?
And not only that, of fans saying that it's lies and
Right.
it's not actually happening, and you guys are just making stuff.
Yeah, Howie Roseman's getting real creative to do a deal he has no interest in doing for a player that's obviously in love with everything that's going on here in this city.
AJ wants to come back. He's never said otherwise, and the Eagles aren't trading him. Give us some. I don't know if we have any voice memos on the text line, but give us some text message reaction to what we're talking about.
Yeah, we've got Mike in Turnersville saying that the Eagles need to move on from A.J. Brown quickly, need to deal him now so they could go sign Romeo Doubs. Doubs is the wide receiver to add for the Eagles. He knows Mannion's offense.
Yeah, I just wonder what his price tag is going to be. What are these wide receivers going to make, 10 a year? What's Doubs making, 10 a year?
I'd take north of that.
Yeah,
12 a year?
A couple of years ago, Darnell Mooney got 13 a year the same year that
He got cut, didn't he?
Yeah.
But Mooney.
Ooh.
He seems like more of a third wide receiver to me than a second.
We're moving off of A.J. Brown to ensure that we end up with one of these
Gotta
options.
make sure you get Mooney.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Tough pill to swallow there. Yeah, and the rumor is that Dobbs and the other quarterback from Green Bay, that's a free agent that I was excited to see where he's going to
Malik Willis.
could end up with the Dolphins together as a package, but we'll see what happens.
And
there.
because Tua is getting cut, that was reported this morning. We all knew it was coming up. So we'll give you the latest on everything going around the NFL and with the Eagles coming up. 610-632-0975. That's our phone number. That's our text line. And if you want to leave us a voice text, we'll play it and react. 610-632-0975. Also on the other side, is there another Georgia Bulldog that the Eagles could potentially shop this offseason? Huh? We'll dive into that coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5. So we're welcoming a new advertiser
how about that?
to the show. And to do that, if he's ready, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sean Brace.
Well, I'll tell you what, John. It is great to be with you. And, of course, as we discussed, legal tampering is officially underway in the NFL. Agents are talking, teams are flirting, and everybody's trying to improve their performance, which actually reminds me, if you're looking to upgrade your performance, hey, let me tell you about Blue Chew Gold. You like that? Hey, now, Blue Chew.
How about that?
Listen to this. They just raised the bar with Blue Chew Gold, a new 4-in-1 upgrade designed to help with both your brain and your body. It's about confidence, connection, and showing up ready when the moment calls your number. The Blue Chew tablet dissolves right underneath your tongue, and you can start working in as little as 15 minutes. So less waiting around and more confidence. And when it's go time, you're ready to go for gold like the USA hockey team. Come on, baby. Blue Chew Gold, it's the upgrade you're looking for. All right, no, seriously, I did just get my package in the mail, black envelope, very general packaging, so nobody knows what's being shipped to your office or your home. Quick as well, placed my order on Monday last week, got it on Thursday, ready for the weekend. Fellas, upgrade your performance and discover your options at BlueChew.com today. And how about this? We got a special deal for our listeners. That's right, get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code YES. That's promo code YES. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information and bring home the gold with Blue Chew Gold.
classic rock block?
Name of the song's Gone, Gone, Gone. I just kind of figured we're talking about trading everybody. Might as well.
Yeah, because why would you want to keep a team that just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago? Right? That's what some people would say, right? Not me.
Right, yeah.
Not me.
No thank you contracts. I don't know if you've ever heard that one before.
So Nolan Smith is entering the 4th year of his contract. And so when is that deadline, too? The Eagles have to decide soon if they're going to give him the 5th round or the 5th year option. First-round draft picks, you get a lot of times it's a good thing because you're getting a guy if he's a good player. Like Jordan Davis, for a while, people were like, oh, I don't even know if you give him the 5th year option. Eagles gave him the 5th year option. For Nolan Smith, if you were to decide, okay, we'll give you the option, he makes almost $14 million next year. Now, Sean, would you give Nolan Smith, would you offer him or would you take the 5th year option? Would you exercise it?
Yeah, I'm exercising it.
You are?
Yeah. Like, again, got to keep some things together here. And I'm not trying to get too crazy. I don't see why you would go about it the other way. Right, I think I did see his name being discussed as far as trade potential. But for me,
well, forget about the trade for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So it really what it means is you have to pay him that much money, and like that you're paying him $14 million. So if the Eagles, I don't know what they're going to do because he is a former first-round draft pick.
Correct.
And maybe one of the reasons why he is involved in trade conversation is the Eagles are kind of looking at how many players make a lot of money, and they say, do we really want to pay Nolan Smith $14 million next year? I like Nolan Smith. I think he could be a good second defensive end, but he also can't stay on the field, right? Like he played 16 games last year, but he only played 12 this year, and he was banged up his first year.
Remember, he got hurt in the Super Bowl again. He re-injured that shoulder, if I'm not mistaken.
So did he have 3 sacks in the postseason? The Super Bowl year. Last year, he only had 3 sacks.
Yeah, he was after it in that season. He played really well, especially. I mean, they all did. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith.
6.5 sacks his second year in 2024, the year they won the Super Bowl. 3 sacks last year. I think, Ray, what it comes down to is that third year after having the 6.5 sacks and being great in the playoffs, you're looking at him to have a breakout season. I wasn't looking for 12 sacks. I'm not looking for him to go down in what he did, and that's what he did last year.
Yeah. He's another guy over the last 3 seasons that has the same amount of sacks as Derek Barnett. 12.5. I mean,
that's right.
That's kind of the number we keep coming back to. Jalen Phillips over the last 3, Nolan Smith over the last 3. If you're going to keep him, I think you have to exercise that 5th year option. Like if he's going to stick around here just because of the position he plays, how much it costs to go get a premium guy there. But I kind of see the justification of saying, hey, we've got Hunt for another year. We've probably seen that there's a better upside on Hunt at this point than Nolan Smith, despite the fact of where they were drafted and the fact that Hunt was more of a project. I think that he's just taken to the position really well at the NFL level. If you look at the different upside there and you say, I have one more year of control of this guy on a rookie deal versus Nolan Smith, can't pay everyone.
Here's where I am on the situation. If you want to sign him to an extension, then you should exercise his 5th year option. If you don't know you're going to sign him to an extension, and at this point, how would you know if you're going to sign him to a contract extension? He wasn't very good last year. Then I don't exercise the 4th year. Because, by the way, you can still sign him. It's just a matter of he's a free agent after his 4th year. You can still bring him back. It happens. Right? There's teams that don't exercise the 5th year option. The player has a very good 4th year, and they bring him back. It's not as likely that they bring him back that they don't bring him back in that particular case. But I don't need to guarantee a guy $13 million. And you know what? Maybe you don't exercise it, and he has an unbelievable year, and now you're saying to yourself, damn it, I wish we exercised it. But that's what you're going to have to do. I would not.
See, I look at what he's been able, and just to the player on the field, like just because he didn't meet the expectations, I don't think like he's going to get worse. I think he could improve, and I like his game. I did. I liked his attitude as well. Again, he did have a great run down the stretch in that playoff. In the 3 playoff games and the Super Bowl, he was a big impact as far as getting after Mahomes. So I look at right here, right now, if you're making me make that decision, I don't want to lose Nolan Smith. No.
The reason why we're bringing it up, Ray, is because Nolan Smith, again, with these trade rumors, his name has been discussed, at least among the insiders, as somebody that the Eagles are talking about, which makes sense if they're looking at him and say, we like the player, we don't want to pay him $14 million a year, can we get something for him now? I just don't know what you're going to get now.
Right, and that's the thing. Could you sell low on him? Probably.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Just because of the affordability. I mean, I think that's where they go to this. Like next year, so you say we're going to go to that $15 million that next season. I don't know what their cap situation is entirely there, but I would imagine $15 more million to a team that wants to pay a number of different guys that are coming up for contracts probably doesn't make it easier for you. And maybe one of their creative solutions is, hey, you know what? Could we find a guy that's going to have 5 sacks that we think we could sell everyone on? Probably.
Yeah. No, I don't think that if they're thinking about trading him, I don't think they exercise the 5th-year option. I wouldn't. Because you're not going to get, what are you going to get that you're going to trade him? I'd rather have him on the team. I don't think he stinks.
No, he's a good guy to have on the team. It's not that I don't want him on the team. It's just if they think that for future flexibility, moving on from Nolan Smith is a problem, I don't think I'm going to sit here and just be clinging to the idea of Nolan Smith.
And let's say that he comes back, he has 8 sacks, and he looks really good. Then he's a free agent, and then you can go out and you can sign him if you want to. But if the team's going to throw $20 million at him, you probably say no, and you let him walk. I don't know. I mean, it's a calculated risk by not doing it.
You know what's crazy is this is going to be a tough free agency period for Eagles fans because I'm already in that boat. And what I mean by that is this. The names that they're going to be getting back in return, look, Jalen Phillips is going to be the lead dog. And I don't know if people are going to be all impressed about that, but here we continue to hear these names that we do like a Jalen Carter could potentially be moved, like A.J. Brown could be potentially moved. Nolan Smith. Look, there were a lot of people that had a lot bigger expectations or higher expectations for Nolan Smith than I did, but I don't want to give up on him by no means. No, I still think that you drafted well, took a shot at him in the first round, and he's delivered. Again, he was hurt for the first 5 games last year. He's missed some time. I'm with you, but I think that there's more to Nolan Smith, and I would not want to move off of it.
Yeah, and I'd keep him before I trade him for a 4th. I'm not trading him for a 4th-round pick. He's your starting defensive end for the most part.
Yes.
Well, I mean, does Hunt start over him? Or regardless, he's going to see a lot of time at defensive end.
Yeah, he's one of your top 3.
And I'd rather have that than now you're going to go on, because if you get rid of him, now you got to go pay somebody. So I'd rather keep him here. I'd be curious to see what they do. We'll talk to Brandon Lee Gouton of Bleeding Green Nation coming up. He was at a 100% chance that A.J. Brown was traded. Where is he right now as the legal tampering period is just over an hour away? When does AJ get traded? What's going to happen with Nolan Smith? Does Brandon Lee Gouton believe that the Eagles are considering trading Jalen Carter? All that and more. Brandon Lee Gouton, Bleeding Green Nation, is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Legal tampering day. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. It's the NFL's legal tampering period beginning at noon today. Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert to headline the free agents that could walk out the door for the Philadelphia Eagles. Another player that we're waiting to see whether or not he will be out the door is wide receiver A.J. Brown. The latest on that from Ian Rappaport.
Does not seem as of right now that there is momentum toward this deal. Anything can happen. These deals can change on a dime.
We'll let you know if things do change on a dime with that deal, and we'll keep you updated what the Eagles are going to do when we speak to Brandon Gouton coming up in the next segment of Bleeding Green Nation. Sixers return to the floor tonight in Cleveland against the Cavs. They'll be without Tyrese Maxey because he sprained his pinky in Saturday's loss to the Hawks. That game tonight at 7 o'clock right here on 97.5. The Fanatic and the Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7. That game on WMMR. This update's brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Get your car ready for your spring adventures this month at your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location. Buy 3 select tires to get 1 free. Offer ends March 31st. See store for details. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic.
saying that he's reading the Tua Tagovailoa cap number that they're going to have to take the dead cap.
It's an NFL record. $99.2 million in dead money against the salary cap.
Well, it's designated a post June 1st, so you can split it up, Sean.
That's insanity. Look,
how bad of a contract was that?
That's a terrible contract. Would you not just hang on to it? No?
Tells you what they think.
Tells you everything. Yeah.
Yep. And they have no replacement. It's not like they have this They might sign Malik Willis, but
which I'm one of the guys that I'm looking forward. There's a few names out there that has my attention, not from an Eagles perspective.
Joe Flacco, he's a free agent.
Which absolutely is one
more year.
Yes.
One more year.
Hey, he's got more than 1 year left.
Oh, I know. We're going for the Brady record here. Get ready.
I'm interested to see where Willis ends up because Dan Orlovsky was pounding the pavement about him getting paid. Daniel Jones, I want to see what happens with him. Alec Pierce, of course, Mike Evans, and then Kenneth Walker. Guy was just a Super Bowl MVP.
And he's a running back.
I understand, but still, these are guys that I'm looking
for.
Get
paid a little bit
around the league. Look,
Daniel Jones, 100% a Colt. Alex Pierce, I believe, is a Colt. Well, didn't they transition tag Jones? So he's a Colt regardless.
Yeah, I think it was more along the lines of the contract that they were trying to come up with.
They're gonna. It's a matter like Pierce may leave because he gets a contract they're not comfortable doing. I think he goes back with the Colts to discuss everything. Probably not involving this, but involving the Eagles. Is Brandon Lee Gout and the Bleeding Green Nation? So just for the record, BLG, this is our percentages on AJ Brown coming back to the Eagles. All right. AJ, we're going to do trade. Sean is 90% AJ Brown's getting traded.
Correct.
I am 80% AJ Brown is getting traded. Ray is 55% that AJ Brown's getting traded. At one spot of time, you were 100% AJ Brown's getting traded. You were holding the line. Where are we this morning?
Yeah, I'm still not moving off of it. I have no new information that would make me move off of that stance.
Wait, by the way, you were right all along when people were. Oh, well, you heard what AJ said on Micah Parsons' podcast. He's very happy in Philadelphia. And then the details of, well, he did ask for trades during the season, and he was yelling at Nick Sirianni on the sidelines in the playoff game, right? All right, so I was not surprised that a trade did not happen over the weekend. This is a negotiation, and the Patriots, the guys in the front office weren't born yesterday. You don't have to give Howie everything that he's asking for. I thought it would take a little bit of time, but I'm curious to see what happens at the beginning of free agency. Does Pierce sign somewhere else? Because if Pierce goes to New England, the A.J. Brown thing's over. I don't think that's going to happen, and I do still think he's getting traded to the Patriots. But this is a negotiation after all, BLG.
Yeah, it's not simple here. And, the reporting on this indicates as much, too. And I thought it was really interesting to hear from Mike Garafolo that, the Eagles are or Howie Roseman's looking for creative ways to kind of get this done. Which also tells you that it's not just the Eagles don't want to trade him. They're just listening to offers. That's clearly not the case. And from AJ's end, there's also reporting out there this morning from Albert Breer, I saw that, AJ has a wish list of certain teams he wants to go to. So there's clearly interest on both sides. So I don't know what the timeline looks like here as we're getting close to free agency, but it seems like there's motivation to me on both sides that something eventually, at some point in time, will happen.
All right, so let's say it doesn't happen in this first wave. The longer it goes, then it becomes not messy, but then you're maybe having to involve another team because if the Patriots don't trade for A.J. Brown, are they just going to not sign a wide receiver? You know what I mean? They have a real need at the position. So the longer this goes, now you're having to try to restir the soup and maybe get another team involved in it. Then maybe you're not getting enough. So, my point is that getting this done sometime in the next 3 days makes the most sense. If the Patriots want the player, if the Eagles realize it's time to trade the player, and if the player wants to go there, I just hope it gets done here in the next 48 to 72 hours.
I think most involved would agree that that's ideal. But I also think the Eagles are stubborn in a good way, in a way that, I think they're going to hold out. We've seen them do it in the past to certain players, not identical situations, but Zach Ertz once upon a time. Everyone thought he was going to get traded at a certain time. They kind of just held on to him to the trade deadline. Again, I don't think the Eagles are going to do that here with A.J. Brown, but I do think they're, dug in to some extent. And it gets complicated because it's not as simple as salary cap, and you try to trade him after June 1st because at that point in the offseason, teams have already made their free agency selections and made their draft picks that, what's the market even look like there? But there are exceptions to the rule always, and I think that could be the case with A.J. Brown.
Were you surprised Jordan Davis got extended now, and then kind of coinciding with that was, again, Jalen Carter's names being brought up in trade conversations? Do those developments surprise you?
I don't think they're as connected. They're on different timelines, right? Like Jordan Davis will be a free agent after this, or was going to be a free agent after this coming season here. It was just the time to pay him. I do think the fact that we've seen things come out about Jalen Carter, again, is not just a case of teams being like bored and being like, hey, I wonder what Jalen Carter costs. Like, I don't think that kind of comes out without at least a sense from other teams that he might be available. That doesn't necessarily mean the Eagles are making him available. And I don't think the Eagles are just like interested in trading Jalen Carter to get off of Jalen Carter. But I do think they're gauging what if we could get a massive haul for Jalen Carter. Maybe we would have interest in that. So, I'm not expecting him to not be in Philadelphia. But I also don't think that's just coming from nowhere.
BLG doing a bang-up job over at Bleeding a Green Nation, and I see you have a great article about Jalen Phillips with all of the insiders' perspective. I'm curious, is there one insider, BLG, that you maybe pay attention to a little bit more than others when it comes to the Eagles? I'm a more
Rossini, I think.
I'm more Fowler right now. I think Fowler's got a good track, good beat on what's happening with the Eagles.
Well, I think you always need, in general, to consider, why people are saying what they're saying, right? Like, you always need to consider, is this coming from the agent? Is this coming from, the building, the team? Like, that's always important to me. You have to understand and look at and consider, like, who benefits from this certain information being out there. So with any kind of report that I'm seeing there, that's kind of what you have to think about who stands to benefit from what's being put out there.
Right. And as far as Phillips is concerned, do you expect this to get done today? Is that where we're at right now with Jalen Phillips?
Sounds like we have positive momentum there. I think that's kind of like the Eagles' idea of a big splash this offseason. Let's be real. Like, it's not going to be they have unlimited resources to spend. We all know that, in part because they have a lot of good talent in this roster already, and they have young guys they want to pay. I think this is kind of like the Zach Bond situation last year. Again, apples for apples, but the idea of, hey, last year the Eagles signed Zach Bond before free agency, and that was kind of like their big move, and they didn't do a whole lot else. I think Jalen Phillips ideally is kind of like they're aiming for him to be their big splash, and I think they do want to keep him.
All right. Do you expect the Kobe Dean to be off the board early? Like Goddard, Blankenship, and the Kobe Dean, I guess at this point, I think we should just expect that all three are going to be gone, maybe with Goddard having the best chance to come back depending on his market?
Yeah, I think especially if they sign Phillips, I think those three I would expect to be gone. If they can't land Phillips, maybe they're able to bring 1, 2 back, and I don't think Nakobe's back no matter what, basically, here. The caveat is sometimes players linger out there in free agency longer than you expect, and that doesn't work in the player's favor. That only works against them in terms of driving their terms down typically, because you can clearly see that they don't have the leverage that their agents might try to make it seem like. So, unless those players, again, are just lingering out there in free agency, which I don't expect, I think they will be gone.
Nolan Smith, we had talked about this just last segment, but former first-round draft pick. The Eagles have a decision on whether to exercise his fifth-year option. First of all, when's the deadline to where they would have to do that? And are you surprised that the Eagles are out there maybe having some conversations trying to assess his value?
Yeah, I believe that's early May. It's usually like right after the NFL draft each year. I believe that's what it was for about Jordan Davis last year. And I think they're going to exercise the option for sure. There's almost no reason, not literally no brainer, no reason, but a lot of reasons to pick that up at the very least. I do think it begs the question, like, okay, if they pay Jalen Phillips, and I think they're probably going to want to pay Jalen, certainly if he's on the trajectory that we saw him, made a big leap from year 1 to year 2. If he does another kind of, he has another encouraging progression from year 2 to year 3, that guy's obviously going to be a guy you're going to pay. So you're kind of questioning at that point, okay, how does Nolan Smith fit into the picture here? And I think that's kind of, again, where maybe he could be moved in a situation where they just feel like they're eventually not going to pay him, but certainly aren't going to dump him for nothing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I wouldn't exercise the option. I would keep him. I'm not going to trade him for what team's going to give you a third or a second round draft pick for Nolan Smith for another year, and then the fifth year is almost $14 million. I like what I saw last year. To me, he looks like he has the potential to be a good number 2 defensive end. But you had mentioned it. You have 2 cornerbacks that are going to make $25 and $30 million a year, or whatever you want to call Cooper DeJean. That's $55 million probably between the two of them.
The chosen one.
Yeah. Now, if you're not going to trade, if you're going to keep Jalen Carter, he's going to make $40 million, $35 or $40 million a year. Jordan Davis is making $26 million a year. You're going to have to pay a defensive end. Jalen Phillips is making $22. BLG, I just don't know how you pay everybody. The Eagles have painted themselves into a corner where drafting so well has really screwed them. Where now they're going to pay these guys. It's unusual. It's unusual for us to be in this situation.
It is a good problem to have in the sense that if all your players stink, and then you're going out and you're trying to find new good players, and probably having to pay maybe even more on the open market typically than you do when sometimes you get more of a better rate when you sign these guys ahead of time, like the Eagles will certainly probably do next year, like you said, with Cooper DeJean, with Quinion Mitchell. So yeah, I don't know how Nolan fits in there. Again, he's been banged up. I thought he showed really good promise, obviously down the stretch in 2024 when they win the Super Bowl. I don't think he was fully right last year coming off of that injury that still lingered from the Super Bowl. So this is kind of a really big year for him, assuming he can stay healthy. Really needs to prove himself here. I still think the organization has hope for him, but I think, again, when you talk about like the stock ranking of where Jalen Phillips and Judge Hunt are, I think they're above Nolan Smith.
Brandon Lee Gouton, Bleeding Green Nation, you should say glued the 97.5 The Fanatic, and you should be checking out Bleeding Green Nation because they stay on top of every rumor, innuendo, etc. All right, so last thing, BLG. What's something that we're not talking about that potentially could happen, especially early in the first day of tampering, that wouldn't surprise you? Like, could the Eagles be targeting a tight end that we're not expecting, and all of a sudden we're like, well, I guess Dallas Goedert's not coming back because they signed somebody. What are you kind of focusing on, or what's something you could see happening that we're not talking about?
Yeah, tight end is a good one to highlight there because, if they don't bring Goddard back, which I tend to think they won't, not because they don't have interest in him, but, they asked him to take a pay cut last year. Do you think Dallas Goedert, definitely 100% wants to come back? I don't think he's showing them any kind of hometown discount, any kind of loyalty, and I don't blame him after that. So, and what do they have behind him? Nothing.
Right.
They have really no proven kind of tight ends on their roster at all. So, and also last year they were going to try to go into the season, at least at one point in time. It looked like Goddard was going to be on his way out, and they signed, a couple of guys who basically, didn't amount to much, and Harrison Bryant, who they traded, and Kylie Granson. So you kind of played in that bottom of the market there, and you didn't really get anything. So I would think they're would have to make a serious offer if they're not keeping Dallas Goedert to someone out there.
Yeah, I saw that Grant Calcaterra is a free agent if the Eagles decide that they need a bag. That's the problem, like you had said. You can negotiate with Dallas Goedert and hope to bring him back. If a couple of the tight ends come off the market early, what are you going to do if you don't bring Goddard back? So I think the Eagles have a plan at tight end, and I don't think it's Dallas Goedert. And I'll be curious to see what happens at noon.
Absolutely.
All right. Great stuff, BLG, man. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
The great BLG.
Yeah, look, you go over to that website. You said those guys, it's BLG. He's all over everything. No, I know that they have other people, but
no, it's
he's
BLG.
Clearly leading the charge. This dude is on top of everything. And I love when you give the take from every insider. That's where you're doing your due diligence. You're paying attention to what every one of those guys are saying. And Fowler had a really good report over the weekend.
Bunch of good stuff.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you know me. I'm a Rossini guy.
Yes.
Typically, when she talks, I listen, or when she tweets, I listen. So,
I watch.
Schefter, Rossini.
Listen too much.
Who else?
I watch.
Fowler, I like.
Yes.
It's also with Garofolo, because he's a local guy and he's got good ins with the Eagles. He knows what's going on, so he understands the way Howie works. I'm sure he gets a lot of information that he's not reporting.
Yeah.
To where he gets a feel for what's going on. Fowler seems to have a really good handle.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was mentioning if Phillips doesn't sign, here's a couple of other backup plans. So he's following it very closely.
It'd be tough to go ahead and power rank them. It would be.
No.
No, it's not.
Well,
who's your one then?
Well, my one's probably a lot different than a lot of people's ones. All right?
Power rank the NFL insiders.
Because what everybody's going to say is Schefter, and it's hard to argue.
Well,
I know. Believe me, I know he's also every Wednesday on the station. I got to keep reminding myself
member
that.
of our Fanatic family.
He is.
all right,
Thumbs up.
But he's
a different level insider. There's the insider that copy and paste from a text message and tweets it, and there's an insider like a reporter. Jeremy Fowler's a reporter.
Yes,
and an insider is Shefty.
Okay.
Rap Sheet's an insider. He's not a reporter. Garofolo is a television reporter / insider. He's very entertaining on the air, but he's not just – he can talk about everything. I like Garofolo. He's my favorite.
I could talk insiders all day.
T-Mac's my favorite. Give me Tim McMahon.
There it is.
Well, but he's a reporter. He is a valued and –
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Give me T-Mac any day of the week.
Yeah, you're right, because about Schefter, it feels like he has an in more than ever, more than other insiders do with, like, the league office. Let's just say that, right? Like, where he's getting information like that.
When Rap Sheet, I forget which contract it was, but in the tweet, he said that the tweet was done by whatever agency and tagged the agency. Nobody, hey, Ian, nobody cares the agency for you to tweet it. Why do you think he's doing that? Because he's getting the information. Schefter was doing the same thing last year. I mean, it's ridiculous, but nobody cared. Like, the fans don't care. I'm the only one that cares about it. They're different. Schefter gets big news. He's getting the text message that a deal's done, and whatever. Locally, McLean's great. I mean, we have a lot of good reporters in Philly.
Really good stuff as far as the Eagles are concerned,
including our own Birds insider, Bill Colarulo. And I'm not even talking about the Checo. What's Bill? I haven't heard. Has Bill Colarulo had anything? Crickets.
Yeah, what's going on there, Bill?
It's almost like we crowned him too early.
Ooh.
I got to send him a text message right now.
Billy Blue Line, he's all concentrating on Danny Briere and the Flyers. That's what's going on. It's taking him his eye off the prize of the Birds.
If he reports on this free agency the way he reported on Brandon Graham, 2 days from now, he's going to tell us that Phillips re-signed.
Yeah, are we going to find out at noon Brandon Graham's back? Is that no? Is that what? That's like an August deal?
Thank you, 97.5.
It's like September.
May.
Week 6?
May.
Oh, May.
I mean, he doesn't want to do training camp. He can still come in and not really have to do it.
You're right.
I don't know. Where are you at, Insider? I just texted Colarulo. All right, we'll get back to it. All the rumors coming up here as it's kind of like the calm before the storm, but we'll update you on everything that's happened so far today and everything else after we do a little weekend recap of Sean Brace.
Oh, we had a lot going on last week, that's for sure. This past weekend, boys, there was so much going on. And, of course, locally, we pay attention to all the Philadelphia athletes that are participating in the WBC as far as the Phillies are concerned, so on and so forth. But bottom line is we'll get there. We open up in the world of college basketball. In the modern-day Bobby Knight, Danny Hurley making the news. He's always making his presence felt on the sideline. Final game on the road versus Marquette. Coming down the home stretch here. Had to find a way to get a stop. His team did not. Here's how it sounded.
UConn can tie it or win it. Gotta go on this possession. No! Rebound! Marquette! 0.4 is left. It's not over. It's not over. Did we get a tee?
Danny Hurley just got thrown out of the game.
Danny Hurley just got turned away. A technical called by Gaffney as Hurley left the bench. That will secure the win.
I didn't think I bumped the ref. I thought I got close to like yelling at John. I mean, if John thinks I bumped him, then he'll say I bumped him, but I don't think that I bumped the official.
Oh, yes.
I would say the video shows otherwise.
Yeah, it does. And, of course, they ended up losing back-to-back for Slick Rick and St. John's as far as regular season Big East champions. How about that? I do want to point out, though, from the reason why I'm playing it was ESPN or Fox cuts to a box, and you have Bobby Hurley, who is the head coach of Arizona State, and Danny Hurley, who's the head coach of course, UConn. And I kid you not, at the same time, Danny's getting thrown out of the game, and his brother got a technical foul.
Oh.
And that was the split screen on television. Fantastic stuff there. All right, from number 3, we go over to the pros. Number 2, as far as from the weekend NBA, Jason Tatum is back.
And from Duke, number 0, Jason Tatum.
Pulled away by Washington, but his lead pass picked off by Derek White. Shovel for Pritchard. Open. 3. Short. Offensive rebound. Two-hand slam. Jason Tatum.
Yeah, unfortunately, that smugness from that call is all you need to know. Jason Tatum is back in a big way. He went for 20 yesterday versus the Cavs. They beat them 109-98. In his first game back against the Dallas Mavericks on Friday night, he went for 15, and that was also a victory. I think everybody is playing for second place in the Eastern Conference now due to the fact that Jason Tatum is back and looking as good as he is.
Yep.
Not good.
Yeah,
Not
Celtics might have made the finals without Tatum being back.
Yeah, look, Brown is that good. Of course, Missoula is a really good coach, but I was still wondering if they would have enough ammo.
Yeah.
They do.
Once the playoffs start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
All right, finally, let's go ahead and check in on the WBC and talking about ammo. My man Kyle Schwarber steps to the dish, bottom of the 5th inning, tie ball game against Great Britain. This is how it sounded.
2-1 pitch. Fly ball. Deep right field. That is gone. Way gone.
An absolute moonshot that went only like 378. I love that. Schwarber hits a ball a mile, and they're like, StatCast 401. Like, what is going on, dude? There's no way that thing didn't go 565 feet. Unbelievable smash. Team USA got the victory. Of course, Schwarber slugging. Back in action tonight, though, taking on Mexico, and Paul Skeens getting the start. So
Taiwan Walker pitched last night for Mexico, so he will not go today. He looked good. Didn't give up any runs.
You checking out the WBC?
Yep. Oh, for sure. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool that you wake up and you're catching games all throughout the course of the day, right? And good baseball. Like, these guys are actually caring, and I know that there's a conversation about that. But
unlike Bryce Harper, who doesn't like the World Baseball Classic.
Poor Bryce.
They should throw him off the team. Tongue in cheek.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been fun. Look, I'm ready for the big games, right? Like we've seen Great Britain and we've seen some of the
Netherlands. Yeah. Let's move off. Yeah, you said Brazil.
You see Didi hit a home run? Didi Gregorius hit a home run?
How about Manny's kid hit 2 against Team USA on Thursday or Friday night it was?
Yeah.
Manny's kid. Bopper.
It's awesome. All right, coming up, we'll give you the latest in free agency. As a tampering period, we need some type of a countdown clock. Like what was that old show on Fox with Kiefer Sutherland?
Oh, 24.
24. We need that for the next half hour before legal tampering. Legal tampering starts at 12 o'clock. The latest with the Eagles and around the NFL. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
NFL free agency, the big story. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update as the legal tampering period begins at noon. Everything before that is just tampering. Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert, the headliners, free agents for your Philadelphia Eagles. And the headliner across the NFL right now, the future of wide receiver A.J. Brown. Ian Rappaport's latest.
Does not seem as of right now that there is momentum toward this deal. We think it happened. These deals can change on a dime.
We'll see if anything changes on a dime as at noon today, the legal tampering period opens up. We'll keep you updated with everything going on across the NFL here on Middays with Marks. Sixers return to the floor tonight in Cleveland against the Cavs. They'll be without Tyrese Maxey. Maxey sprained his pinky in Saturday's loss to the Hawks. 7 o'clock start tonight. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic. And the Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7. You can listen to that game on WMMR. This update is brought to you by Allstate. Some just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic.
Marks, Embrace,
Hello.
and Ray. And well, who else will be here for the Eagles? We'll find out some names here coming up here. Legal tampering period at 12. I will say this. Not a lot going on right now as we head into it. Just going through all the news right now, it's kind of like, all right, well, like the Bills are, there's been some trades. Don't get me wrong. Minka Fitzpatrick was traded from the Dolphins to the Jets, and then he signs a new contract with the Jets. They probably would have cut him anyway. I think they only gave up a 7th-round draft pick for him. So it's moves like that are happening, not huge moves. The Cowboys restructured a contract. Tua got released by the Dolphins, creating a $99 million dead money cap hit. Sean Brace?
Yeah, look, I don't want to poo-poo, of course, the NFL free agency. But, John, take a look at the top 20 here on NFL.com as far as free agents, the 101 top free agents right now. And you look at, like, Malik Willis is your first guy. Jalen Phillips, 2. You got a center, Linderbaum from the Baltimore Ravens, 3, Kyler Murray, 4, and an Alec Pierce, 5. Like, there's nothing really like.
No Trey Hendrickson?
No, Henderson.
Wow, see, I was looking at the ESPN list.
Hendrickson is 6, so I apologize.
Okay.
Then you got Devin Lloyd, Kenneth Walker, and Shaheed is in there. A couple names that people would know, but other than that, it's kind of a little lackluster as far as big names that are available for you. So that doesn't mean we're not going to see big names moved, right?
So here's what I'm curious with the Cowboys. How I feel like they're striking early. So is that in the Kobe Dean off the board quick? Do they go after Trey Hendrickson?
It makes sense to go get Dean. I get it. He's dealt with his fair share of injuries in a short time, but man, Christian Parker's probably got to be just, pitching something that is a glowing report as far as Nakobe Dean.
Well, it's what I said to my guy, Mike Manansky, who does, he's Barstool now, but he did Boston radio for a long time. He had asked me, well, what about Milton Williams? And I'm like, he's a really good player. The Eagles probably would have signed him if they didn't have a bunch of defensive tackles that were former first-round draft picks.
Wait, the dude Mutt?
Mutt.
That's your guy?
Yeah, Mike Manansky. Yep.
Mutt.
I've known Mutt for a long time, yeah. You know Mutt?
I know Mutt because everything that took place last year on my timeline, it was a little hectic.
Well, with Aton?
It was Aton, Mutt, Portnoy.
Yes.
Mutt seemed like a nice guy.
Mutt is a great guy.
Yeah, that's another
He's
thing.
the best guy ever.
All right. Well, he seemed like damn, dude.
Yeah, Mutt's a really good dude.
All right.
So anyway, he's like, well, what's up? Well, why'd they let him leave him? It's because they have they're going to sign 2 guys to maybe $80 million contracts. So I would say the same thing about Nakobe Dean. If they didn't just draft a first-round linebacker and didn't already sign Zach Bond, I'd be beating the drum for Nakobe Dean to come back. It's kind of like Ranger Suarez. We just knew that he wasn't going to come back. They already had starting pitchers. They couldn't afford to give another guy $25, $26 million a year. I love Nakobe Dean. I don't want him to leave, but the writing's kind of on the wall. It's just a matter of him going to the Cowboys, which really suck. So,
Can I toss something to you real quick as far as headlines are concerned, and it's pretty funny?
Yeah.
Apparently, the Falcons are targeting Tua. Falcons targeting Tua.
So after they signed, let's get this straight. So they signed Kirk Cousins to this big contract, and then, 2 months later, they draft a quarterback in the first round.
Draft Penix.
Was that his rookie year last year, Penix?
Yeah.
So they're already moving off of the quarterback they overdrafted in the first round, despite signing Kirk Cousins.
He was drafted 8th overall in 2024.
To go after. So it would have been 2 years ago.
2 years. Sorry. Yeah, 2.
To go after Tua. Maybe because Tua's not going to make any money. All these guys, like Kyler Murray, I don't think he can actually be released until for 2 more days when the league like in 2 days when it officially starts.
Yeah.
But Murray's a free agent. He's only going to cost $1.5 million. Tua's a free agent. He's only going to cost $1.5 million. Malik Willis is going to cost real money because he's a free agent. These other guys are making all the money from their old teams. So you don't have to. These guys aren't going to make any money. So, Kyler Murray, he can go to Minnesota. Minnesota gets the best deal ever. They're just paying him $1.5 million. Doesn't count much against their salary cap. So, really? Tua?
Tua, apparently the Falcons are making a strong push to get Tua. I want nothing to do with Tua. He had everything there in Miami. Don't get me wrong, he had his moments. I know he had a good season, 2 years ago?
The first year or two with McDaniel, he's really good.
McDaniel's a heck of an offensive mind, and he was able to get the ball out of his hands fast. They took shots down the field. It's just Tua. There's just something not there at the professional level, whether it's arm strength, whatever it may be. I'm passing on Tua.
All right, so we have a voice text message, so you can text the text line. You can call us on our regular phone line, which, by the way, we like when people call in during the regular phone line.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you can also text 610-632-0975. Voice text us, and here's what we have.
Hi, Steve from Acton, New Jersey, delivery driver. The Sixers are an injury-riddled mess. The Phillies did nothing this offseason to fix the team. The Flyers are not making the playoffs again, and the Eagles are about ready to trade away A.J. Brown and Jalen Carter. Philly sports is doomed.
It's a good voice memo there. I like that. Yeah, I
Outside of the Eagles.
I want to pump the brakes a little bit on Jalen Carter. I get it. It makes sense. There was rumors out there. I don't want to believe that Jalen Carter is going to be moved this offseason. I just don't want to.
I don't think he's going to be traded.
All right.
Because here's what I believe. If a team came to the Eagles and said, we'll give you 2 first-round draft picks and this player, the Eagles would do it. And I think that's why they were having conversations. I don't believe that that Howie Roseman and the Eagles were, all right, we're calling teams to.
Yeah.
Howie's always having conversations. And if you believe what whoever that the Twitter guy is that said that they were floating Jalen Carter.
Ricky the Rat.
If you believe that, and I do. Why wouldn't the Eagles be interested in Crosby? He's better than Phillips, but he costs 2 first-round draft picks.
Yes. Yep.
Are you surprised the Ravens gave up 2 first-round draft picks?
Well, very. Number one, that's something that we don't see from the Baltimore Ravens. As a matter of fact, they've never traded a first-round pick, and here they did 2. That's number one. And number 2 is, just from the standpoint of, look, they had a pretty good defense. They weren't getting to the quarterback. I think they only had 30 sacks last year. So I get the reason why. But, man, that's a lot. That is a lot to give up to Max Crosby, who could potentially be going the other way as far as his career is concerned. I wanted the Eagles to have interest.
Not for 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I would have given up 1.
Sure.
Maybe something.
And you don't have to go with Phillips? Yeah, I definitely would sign up for that.
Yeah, for sure. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. As we await the noon beginning of the tampering period. All right, coming up. Wait, so Mike Evans might be moving on from Tampa Bay. Would you have any interest? Because if they are, and that's the other thing that complicates it with A.J. Brown, if they do still want to trade him, but they don't do it right now, does that mean that you're not going? Because it'd be nice and clean if they are going to move on from him, so now you can also sign his replacement. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that now, what are you doing? You're getting the leftovers around the draft. You're drafting a player. I don't know, but Mike Evans moving on from Tampa Bay. Would you have interest? We'll discuss that as the tampering period is about to start in 20 minutes. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
No hot takes, no rage bait, just the truth.
Today I'm wearing, Sean, maybe the YouTube people can't see it.
What do you got?
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Otto Kemp, baby. I'll give it to you. Here you go.
I have my Otto Kemp shirt on today. If you want to see it, go to my Instagram stories at John Marks Media.
You know, you were the front runner. You were leading the charge for the Otto Kemp Get in the Zone, AutoZone. That ball was smashed.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that ball was, again, it was probably 375, right? But it's just destroyed. It literally went over like the green grass yesterday, and then it went over like the cement sidewalk as well.
So I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that ballpark. Is that Sarasota? They were playing the Twins. They in Sarasota. They weren't in Clearwater, which like if it goes out goes in the street, it's a big one.
Good. It might have killed somebody at Frenchie's.
Right.
You might have been getting a Corona and took a ball off the head.
Otto Kemp's that's I think second home run this spring, and
sheesh.
Listen, and this isn't for today because this is free agency begins.
Okay.
But I'm going to get this on people's head that if you want to get in the zone now's the time to do it. Not that people aren't going to be allowed to get in the auto zone because, listen, we're equal opportunity. Everybody's allowed on board. I'm just saying with the first wave of the originals, it's like the day one people from the show, right? People that are day one, middays with Marks, a little bit different than the people that come along later on. Not that we don't appreciate them, but still. So if you want to be day one guys in auto zone, the day one conversations close soon. Ray, you in the auto zone?
Yes. I'll wait. Much like some people with us, I'll tune in at some point.
What are you waiting? Did you see what Connor got me?
Oh, I did. Trust me, I got a text immediately as that happened.
He texted me. Connor he said that Connor was down in Florida and he caught a Phillies game and he yelled to Otto Kemp. He said, "Hey, my buddy that I work with is your biggest fan. Can I have a ball for him?" So he threw a ball up to him, and then Connor presented it with me earlier.
Unbelievable.
Because he's also in the auto zone.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Violations, Greg texted me. He's in. Are you in?
Oh, I'm definitely in.
You're in the auto zone.
Yeah, I'm in the auto zone. I was a little reluctant in the beginning. I won't lie, but now is the time. I'm in.
He may only hit 245 or 250, but you're looking at 17 home runs, at least.
Just don't need him out in the field if we can eliminate that.
Well, you may have to.
He has to play out.
I get it.
That's how this works. That's the whole
issue.
zone,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to be in the full auto zone.
All right. I'm in. I'm not doubting him. All right. Dude, that ball was mashed.
Yeah, he's got real power. People sleep on the power. He's got real power. He is. So he's going to be good. All right, Ray.
I was watching. I saw it happen live. I was like, well, good for Johnny Marks.
Okay.
I also want to say to this whole Connor story thing, if this wasn't your favorite player, you'd be ripping him for asking for a ball from the player.
Well, it's for somebody else, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still.
Okay, well, if he was doing it for himself.
No, if it was like, oh, Ray's a big Nola guy, let me yell to Nola and try and get a ball. I'd be like, why are you yelling at Aaron Nola?
Why would I be mad at that? You're a Nola fan. Something we can talk about. I mean, I would rip on you for being pathetic for winning an Aaron Nola ball.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay.
I would totally prefer the career minor leaguer that's a 4A guy. By the way, minor league baseball.
Who are you talking about?
I'm just saying in general, if there was a player that kind of seems like a 4A guy because he's got no real position on the field and maybe he's going to hit a home run out every once in a while, but we're going to overhype him because he's got a fun name. I'm just saying if that player existed.
Get in the zone, Ray.
All right.
Come on, man.
No. He's welcome on whenever he wants to. It's like when the Flyers finally win a cup, it won't mean as much to me as it will to the diehards, right? To Colarulo. Because like a bandwagon. He's a bandwagon AutoZone guy.
Yeah.
Who's actually rooting against him. That's the other thing is he's rooting against him.
I'm not. I want the Phillies to win games. They kind of need that right-handed side of the platoon out there in left field to be good.
You just called him a minor league player, so that means you're not rooting against him.
Sorry. If I spent this offseason here, Thompson and Dombrowski call him a World Series player after he had 8 home runs his rookie year.
Championship-type player is what they said.
Oh, yeah. That's a big difference.
All right. There you go. John Clark with the social media post Sean Brace not too long ago.
Yep.
Saying exactly what? First of all, the one part of the tweet was that Eagles are working on a contract extension with Derek Gunn. It's interesting how with Derek Gunn. I see Derek Gunn also said something as well, but with Jalen Carter.
Got it right here.
All right.
12 minutes ago, ladies and gentlemen, it is John Clark's understanding the Eagles are trying to get a deal done with Jalen Phillips and a contract extension with Jalen Carter after locking up Jordan Davis. It's all about the defensive line, which, yes, I'm in. That's where we need to move.
So when he says it's my understanding, is that different than reporting? It feels like he's not saying I'm reporting or it's a report.
He's crafty with the words. It's what he's hearing.
It's what he's hearing.
Yeah. And he also has, the NBC Sports, like the Peacock he's got to worry about.
I have no doubt that
NBC.
I have no doubt that somebody down there told him that, and I have no doubt that that's true. I would agree with it. As the Eagles insider, Bill Colarulo has walked in here and he's flexing for us right now. Now, we had asked earlier, I texted him, I said, hey, Eagles insider, I'm not hearing anything.
Well, Billy Blue Line, he's been locked on all things Flyers.
I know. So what do we have, Eagles insider?
So Eagles insider, we got 10 minutes is what we have until legal tampering period. So here's what I'm hearing. All right, Ray, I can't hear you in my headphones rolling your eyes, but I could see you rolling your eyes.
How about
So what I'm hearing, this is not breaking news. They are prioritizing Jalen Phillips. I do expect the Jalen Phillips signing to happen
early in free agency,
and he comes back to Philadelphia. But the news that I will be reporting that I don't think is out there right now, the Jalen Carter trade rumors are anything but. It is the complete opposite. They are in discussions for a long-term contract extension for Jalen Carter as we speak. So I would not be shocked if we get news within the next 24 hours that Jalen Carter, just like Jordan Davis, enters into a long-term contract with the Philadelphia Eagles.
So our Eagles insider fed the same information as John Clark. That Jalen Carter is they're working on a contract extension. So like I just said, I believe it.
Yeah.
I think where the story comes from is how he's having discussions to maybe get a Max Crosby or somebody like that, and he says, "Well, what if Jalen Carter was made available?" Just to see if there's a team out there that's saying.
I'm reading it differently.
All right.
I'm reading it as who's Jalen Carter's agent? Drew Rosenhaus. I could see Rosenhaus putting out there. Maybe that, other teams are interested. If you're not going to give us the money we want, I know so-and-so is interested. Like, I think it's all negotiation tactics. Or it could also be coming from the Eagles where it's, all right, fine. You're not going to take our contract, then we'll consider trading. I don't think any of it's real. I think it's all negotiations. Jalen Carter has an exceptional relationship with Clint Hurt, defensive line coach. And what we know about Jalen Carter, his mindset, you have to have the right coach. And he knows Clint Hurt. He trusts Clint Hurt, and I think he wants to stay here. I think that gets done. I didn't realize Johnny Clark put that out there.
No, it's
just
Johnny
a few
Clark
minutes
beat me
ago.
to it.
Just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, but yours had a little bit different tone. All right,
He said he's hearing. You're reporting it.
Yeah, yours was a little bit more calming for me. All right, because I want no part of moving off of Jalen
So
Carter.
just to be clear, are you reporting that the Eagles are deep in contract negotiations with Jalen Carter and his agent?
I am reporting that as the Birds insider for 97.5.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dutz and Dylan put it up there just like that because Clark's saying he's hearing you're reporting.
Yeah, no, I believe it'll get done sooner rather than later.
Which would be awesome too, because you have all these reports. I was just reading Yahoo. Oh, the winds are blowing. Trade rumors are swirling about Jalen Carter. No, they're actually working on a contract extension.
But it would make sense that, I mean, who are you not going to play on this team? You're paying everybody $30 million a year?
They're taking care of the D-tackle position. I think that's the most important. But I think it's telling you're prioritizing Jalen Phillips, which means how much do you actually trust Nolan Smith?
Well, you
Because
don't.
you wouldn't need Jalen Phillips if you trusted that Nolan Smith was the answer.
Yeah, but if Howie Roseman to say we don't need Jalen Phillips because they have Nolan Smith, that would be a bad move.
But you think about the draft capital, though. You used a first-round pick on Nolan Smith, a third-round pick on Jalix Hunt.
Yep.
You shouldn't need to break the bank in free agency for another edge rusher.
I would not give him I would not do the fifth-year player or the option. I would not do the fifth-year option if I was the Eagles. I would let him play out year 4, and if he has a great year, then you resign him or you don't. I don't need to pay him $13.7 million to have 4 sacks or whatever.
See, I'd do the fifth-year option, just hold off on the extension.
They probably will.
All right, good stuff,
There he
Ray.
is, Birds Insider, Bill Colarulo.
Nice.
With a real report.
When I come in here, I think I should have some sort of intro drop that you give me.
I agree.
So can you work on that, Ray? Appreciate it.
You can't hear me, but I just wanted to point out. This guy gets 4 hours of airtime every single day on television. He comes in here, he needs now a drop to feel important.
Agreed.
And on top of that, he comes in here and says Jalen Phillips is the priority for the Eagles, as if that's something new.
Well, that's
and he's 15 minutes late to John Clark's report about the extension.
Wow. John Clark did not report it. He's hearing.
Oh, my gosh.
He's hearing.
Different words.
It's different.
Everybody
This is
bends
the
over
official report.
backwards, man. We got an Olympic gymnast level of bending over backwards here to make sure this guy feels important around here.
All right, we'll give you the latest. The tampering period begins next. We'll give you the latest, everything with the Eagles, everything with, around the league. That is coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Free agent frenzy. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and we are now within 10 minutes of the beginning of the legal tampering period in the National Football League. We'll find out at some point on the futures of Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert, and all of the Eagles free agents. And this was a time in the NFL where A.J. Brown was a big storyline across the league. He is still a Philadelphia Eagle for now, and Ian Rappaport saying earlier today, it seems like momentum stalled in getting a deal done with him.
Does not seem as of right now that there is momentum toward this deal. We think it happened. These deals can change on a dime.
We'll see if anything changes on a dime as we, again, are just minutes away from the legal tampering period opening up in the NFL. 76ers return to the floor tonight in Cleveland against the Cavs without Tyrese Maxey. You can listen to the game tonight right here on the Fanatic at 7 o'clock. The Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7. You can hear that game on WMMR. This update brought to you by WeatherBug. Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use, so the weather never takes you by surprise. Download the free WeatherBug app today. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Not AutoZone, but in the NFL zone. Legal tampering period beginning right about now. So, Ray, do you have multiple laptops in there? Do you have you in like the situation room?
This is the situation room.
You're in the situation
I'm in the situation room. That was the situation room theme music right there.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Well, Ricky's also in the situation room as well.
Correct. He's updating me on what he's heard the Eagles are going to do.
So Bill Colarulo coming up here at 2 o'clock reporting that these trade rumors for Jalen Carter are fugazi.
Yeah.
And they're actually deep in contract negotiations, and he expects the extension to happen sooner than later.
Music to my ears.
Yeah.
Don't want to lose him at all. Let's keep him in. Is it all right if I say the nest? Is that okay? I just want to say that, just keep him in the nest.
Yeah, you can do that.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
I like a good cliche.
You got to have the beef up front. All right, John, and with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, give me Phillips back in the mix. As I said, then you go to the backside. You got great cornerback play. They got to figure out what they're going to do as far as Blankenship and replacing him or bring it back. But the defense is a strength to this team. We saw it multiple times last year. Let's continue to build on that.
And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with having the defense as the strength of your team because the Eagles have shown they prioritize the offensive line. You don't need I would say the problem with the modern day NFL, and the Seahawks actually bucked the trend, and so did the Eagles, was that you need to have everything's about the quarterback, everything's about throwing the ball. You need 5,000 passing yards and everything else. No, actually, defenses. Look at Seattle's defense. Look at the Eagles' defense the year before that, right? Defenses, again, matter in the NFL. Running the football matters again in the NFL. Look at how the Seahawks, Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker III, right? They could throw the ball, but they weren't going to lean on Sam Darnold to throw the ball 50 times a game. They didn't need to do that. So the Eagles are maybe the ones that are actually doing it. So not only is Bill Colarulo reporting that he expects an extension to happen with Jalen Carter soon, he's also, like a lot of people, saying the Eagles are trying to get a deal done with Jalen Phillips. And most people, or a lot of people, expect to happen early on in the process. So that's where we are right now. Tampering has officially began in the NFL, and I would expect moves to start trickling down. What do we expect as we start this? I'll start with you, Sean. What are you expecting early on in free agency?
Well, first and foremost, it's Jalen Phillips. It's got to be from the Eagles' perspective. He did everything he possibly could last year. He was dealing with some injuries, some early setbacks in his career. Last year, he proved he could play. He could remain durable. He played in all 17 regular season games, 9 with the Dolphins, 8 with the Eagles. Had a couple sacks. Was able to rush the quarterback. I know we joke about that, but he was out there making his presence felt, even if he wasn't able to get after the quarterback. I would have liked to see it a little bit more down the stretch against the 49ers, of course, but again, it's about building this and putting it together the right way. So give me Jalen Phillips. That's what I'm looking for from the Eagles' perspective. On the outside, though, from the NFL's perspective, Malik Willis, I think he's going to be one of the first deals. I feel like that. This is the guy. This is the top dog as far as at the most important position in all of sports. They know where he's going, and I think it's going to be the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to pony up and pay him. I don't know what type of money he's getting, but I'm definitely intrigued because of what Orlovsky was saying. A couple months ago, Orlovsky was pounding the pavement. Malik Willis this, Malik Willis that. We'll see if he's going to go ahead and get that big payday, but ultimately he's going to get the opportunity to be a starter in this league, and I'd like to see him with the Dolphins.
Yeah, the once upon a time I wanted him instead of Jalen Hurts. Remember when it was we wanted everybody?
Oh, yeah.
I saw Malik Willis throw at the combine, and he's a hose, man. He can throw 70 yards.
Well, and
he's developed. In Green Bay, He's got a shot, man. Now he's actually got a shot. He's gonna be a starting quarterback. How long does it last? Justin Fields this past year with the Jets lasted half a season or not even. So Malik Willis is going to get the same kind of money, I think, and the same kind of shot, maybe more money than Fields.
Well, I think it leads to a bigger point, right? Where it's this guy was drafted 3rd round by the Titans, and it's and then he goes to Green Bay and he's able to fill in a nice role as a backup quarterback, learn a little bit. Develop. I know that's something that's frowned upon for some quarterbacks out there, but he clearly has done exactly that. And a big reason is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, Sean Mannion.
For sure. Yep. All right, Ray, we have first big rumor to come. I mean, listen, this isn't a signing, but the Niners are open to trading Trent Williams, their future Hall of Fame tackle.
Yes, Rappaport coming out with that one, saying that there has apparently been a breakdown of communications between them as they are working through. He's got $32 million in salary and a cap number over $38 million. I guess he wants some more money or a different contract, and they have not found it. So he's upset with them right now.
I know Albert Breer had reported. First of all, Travis Kelce and the Chiefs he's going to be back, I guess, for one more year.
Year 14.
There's no surprise. He wasn't going anywhere else, nor should he have went anywhere else.
No.
Come on, Travis Kelce doesn't need to be in somebody else's uniform, and the Chiefs are never going to allow that to happen.
Don't you get the same vibe about Mike Evans, though? And I don't really have the same feeling, though, but
I don't have the same feeling.
Mike Evans should not be finishing his career anywhere else other than Tampa Bay.
The Indianapolis Colts are re-signing Alec Pierce. So Alec Pierce, wide receiver, who was rumored to maybe be somebody that the Patriots would sign. He's going back to the Indianapolis Colts, and that is what I thought was going to happen.
Wow.
Right? Yep. Details on this one. Apparently, McAfee's breaking this one on his show. Colts connection there. They're having him do the free agent frenzy for ESPN. So now Pat McAfee has entered the insider world here. 4 years, $116 million. Shefty putting that out right now. So
whatever the guaranteed money is what I'm looking for, because we're in the business of we're in the territory of where you'll hear up to, as opposed to guaranteed money, which is just fluff put out there by the agent and the robots do
fluff.
Yeah, the robots do the agent a solid by making it look like it's more than it is.
$84 million guaranteed money.
Wow. Yep.
Well, he was rumored to be 27 to 30 million.
And that's what he got.
Woo!
30 million would be 120. So he got $39 million a year.
All right,
$29 million a year. Yeah, that contract will not be a good contract.
Wow.
I like Alec Pierce. That's a lot of money for a guy that's not a high volume receiver. Now, if he's still busting big plays and getting lots of touchdowns, all right.
Man.
But not surprising. So now this goes back to the Patriots. All right, Patriots. You're going to go into the season with who? Mike Evans?
Matt Collins.
Mike Evans? Matt Collins?
Matt Collins.
With no shoes on? Matt Collins walks around with no shoes on?
I think I saw something. Yeah.
It's weird.
Warriors come out and play.
Yep. So this just like it nails it even more into my belief A.J. Brown is going to go to the Patriots. And again, for everybody out there that is saying he's not getting traded, you're just making stuff up, the Eagles don't want to trade him. If you've listened to what any of the reporters have been saying, and this isn't just the throw the stuff against the wall reporters, it's Howie Roseman's trying to be creative to get a deal done with New England. New England will not budge off. They will not give up a first-round pick. They're trying to get creative. Momentum has stalled in the process. That's not a Howie Roseman saying, oh, well, if you come to us, we're listening. No, that's the player wants to be traded because there's a wish list, according to Albert Breer. There's a wish list and he does say that the talks have stalled. But the wish list is there's a couple of teams that A.J. Brown is willing to play for. As we thought, when his agent was at the Combine, he was talking to different teams or whatever. So it's the Patriots, it's the Chargers, what were the other teams, Ray? I can't find the tweet that I saw.
Chargers, Chiefs, Bills. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Patriots.
Chiefs, yeah.
Okay, but the Bills feel like they're out of it.
Or the Bills are out of it.
Right.
They got DJ Moore, and plus they didn't have a lot of money to work with. I was looking at the cap numbers a little earlier, and I get it. I don't get too caught up because they can make things happen. But they got their guy DJ Moore, and Brady had the connection with him as far as Carolina is concerned. So they checked that box, although not, they don't. I don't think it's the number 2 pencil. I don't think they use that, but they do have a decent wide receiver now that they can add to the rotation of guys that would be catching passes for Josh Allen. Nobody on the level of A.J. Brown or Alec Pierce either.
So Tua is going to be released when the new league year starts, which is in 2 days. They're going to end up paying him $123 million for the one more year that they had. 2 years, $147 million from the contract they signed. Remember the money Russell Wilson made for like half a season, and then they cut him? Man, it must be nice.
Who's Tua's agent, man? Nice work. I get it. It's slotted, the quarterback when you draft him, understood. But, and he parted ways with his agent. Why would you do that, man? They got you paid.
No kidding. All right, so here's the question. Who are we thinking gets, when I say we have some breaking news, who is it that gets signed away from the Eagles first? Ray?
I would think Dean.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I would think Dean, too.
It just seems like his market would be the biggest for his services.
It's the best player.
Right.
Goddard, I mean, is there a team really wanting to come out in the first hour of legal tampering to sign Goddard? If the price is right, maybe, but it doesn't seem like it's the Eagles.
Read an article this morning. I think Breer said that Goddard could potentially be back in the mix. Again, it's all about the price, understood. But, the Eagles want more to go to battle with what they already do know in a guy like Dallas Goedert. But we'll see. There's some good, as far as free agents are concerned, at the tight end position. I thought that there were some decent names that, could make an impact as far as passing the football. But I think there is something to be said about somebody that's been here, done it, and would remain with the Eagles in the nest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe that. Because because you know how you re-sign Goddard? He goes out in free agency. The market's not there that he wants. That's not a, hey, all right, we'll come back to you, Eagles. That's a kind of tail between the legs, like last year with him. He could have went out and signed with anybody, but there wasn't a team interested in making a trade and giving him the deal that he wanted. So he kind of came back. I mean, I don't want to say tail between the legs, but he had to come back and take a pay cut on a 1-year contract. And if that's not going to parlay into a free agent contract, is he really going to come back to the Eagles and say, all right, I'll take a 2-year, $20 million contract? I don't know, man. To me, it feels like you sign elsewhere for about the same money that you got with the Eagles. I just, like, if I'm the Eagles, I can't wait around for a tight end because then you get burned with having no tight end.
Yep.
Go out, you target a guy, you sign him. I know Isaiah Likely, I think, was the Giants, going to follow Harbaugh up to the Giants. I saw that sometime. So there aren't a ton of names out there in free agency with tight ends, but there's a couple.
Yeah, the kid from Tennessee, Okongwu, I believe.
And the Dolphins tight end that was really good the last couple weeks of the season. Now you're taking a major swing with that in a short period of time.
Yeah, look, it's interesting because that is definitely a huge position for this offense as far as tight ends are concerned. Yeah, it said, this is Albert Breer. I could see a couple of other veteran tight ends, Tampa's Cade Otton and Eagles' Dallas Goedert staying put if the market doesn't get too out of whack. I see both teams as open to bringing their guys back to the position.
All right.
So do we get Phillips news first, and then we start talking about outside names, or are they going to go outside names?
I think Phillips first. It's got to be Phillips first, right? Like it all starts and ends, and he's a huge piece to the defensive end puzzle around the league. Like he's going to set the tone there as far as money, right?
Yes.
So I think it's him first. Eagles, obviously, they want him back. They've been working on this deal. I think that we're going to see that news pretty soon here.
All right, so the big story so far is Alec Pierce going back to the Colts. $116 million over 4 years, and 80 of that, 84 or 80 of that is guaranteed. That's a lot of money.
I'm seeing a lot of wows on the timeline. Wow.
No surprise. So they have Daniel Jones, who they transition tagged, and they have Alec Pierce. They have both players back.
I love when
we'll see how that works out.
I love when you can go ahead and put them up against the other receivers in the league. Oh, by the way, Alec Pierce right now is making more than T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, Jamison Williams, Devontae Smith, and Nico Collins. Some pretty good receivers in that cluster right there. And he is making more than all of them. The expectations are through the roof. That's all there is to it. Interesting stuff, though. And, I did text a group yesterday. I was like, I hope he stays in Indy. The issue is just like you don't know. All right, so Daniel Jones signed the not the franchise tag. What did he sign? He signed the
transition.
Transition. Thank you. So he is their quarterback, but that doesn't mean he's the quarterback for the next whatever that deal is for Alec Pierce, 4 years. So you have to be asking yourself, what the hell's going on with my quarterback situation? I'm the receiver. I got to know this, so I could talk myself into him going elsewhere. But you know what? Indy, good move by them. They had to overpay him a little bit to keep him in-house. We'll see if it pays off.
Man, they gave him top of the market to keep their own guy. And by the way, with Jones, if Jones comes out this year, even if he plays under the transition tag, because they can still negotiate a long-term contract with him. But if he plays under the transition tag and stinks, then yeah, he's not going to come back. If he's good, they're not going to let him leave, right? Daniel Jones, if he's really good again this year, you would think that I wouldn't re-sign him long-term now coming off that injury. And, who the hell knows with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, it's a tough one. He proved me wrong last year. He deserves a lot of credit. And, I still don't believe in him. I still wouldn't want him as my quarterback in the future. But he did prove me wrong last year. Nice season by him until he got hurt.
So, Ray, we have someone getting signed by the Patriots.
Yeah, Draymond Jones, which is only notable because it is money that the Patriots are putting on their books. 3 years, $39 million to add him, taking him away from the Ravens.
Uncle Jamie asking an interesting question on the text line. Since Dak Prescott called off his engagement, does that affect his cap number? Or was it because when he gave the engagement ring, someone intercepted it?
Oh!
Some dad humor right there.
Love some dad humor.
Dak Prescott and his fiancée called off the engagement.
My favorite was he got too close to a ring for comfort.
Hey, man, if you're going to call an audible, that's the time to do it, right?
Well, apparently it was over he wanted her to sign a prenup, according to reports, Ray.
Omaha. Yeah, wait, so let me, because you just told me this during the commercial break, too, or we were talking about this earlier, and I'm like, wait a minute. How do you not have that conversation way before getting on a knee?
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, man.
Well, by the way, didn't they have 2 kids? They have 2 kids together already. They haven't been together that long. So maybe there's some, there are conversations that, didn't.
How do you have 2 kids and you're not together all that long?
Wait, they got together in 2024.
It's definitely 18 months, right? Unless he's
I think it's a little more
Swamp
than that.
Thing and he's able to produce something out of nowhere. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, I would just say, like, Dak has made a lot of money. That's got to be one of the first things you discuss. Just reality.
Or he doesn't think about it. And the agent's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and then he brings it up. Like when Kelly presented you with the prenup, you were like, yeah, that's fine with me. Right?
You're damn right.
Like, I'm fine, yes. And by the way, with the prenup, it's not like she wouldn't get anything.
No.
Yeah, you give her a nice consolation prize, some rice-a-roni, probably $20 million or something.
Exactly. A gift basket on the way out with an autographed football. Jeter.
Jeter style,
yes.
There we go.
Look, it's just he's made a lot of money, and when you get into that world, like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, you bet your butt, and Travis Kelce has made a ton of money, but you bet your butt she has a prenup.
There will be an agreement. Yep.
Has to be adjusted, though, for the fact he's coming back and taking a pay cut for year 14, right? Like, he can afford to take the pay cut now because he's set. This is the best thing that could have happened to Chiefs fans, that he's with Taylor Swift, because he can afford this pay cut this year.
Oh, man. Yesterday was a Taylor Swift tribute band at the Philadelphia Wings. They closed it down.
Who was it?
Taylorville, the unofficial.
I wonder if it was because up at Upper Providence Community Day, Ray, they had a Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah, like tribute band.
This was
cover
good.
band.
She was good. Good band.
But it rained and they couldn't have the concert, and people were very upset. I was ready to go with the kids.
Major production, John. I'm talking bubble machines, lights, balloons. Taylorville. Yeah, she looked pretty good.
All right. Well, as we look for things that trickle down, the big stories for the Eagles in the last 24 hours or so: Jordan Davis, the 3-year contract extension; Jalen Carter, rumors about him being traded, but now, according to Bill Colarulo, our Eagles insider, the Eagles are actually deep in contract negotiations with Carter, and he expects something to happen sooner rather than later. So don't expect a Jalen Carter trade or even conversations. Which, by the way, I'd much rather just extend them now, so we don't have to worry about the rumors and all that stuff.
That's it.
And then it's kind of waiting for Jalen Phillips. It's a matter of, do they make a trade? I would think the trades happen more towards the draft than now.
The only reason they're saying it could be a more active trade time is because this free agency class kind of, not.
That's right, it stinks!
It's not good.
It's not good. So they think maybe we'll do a trade here or there.
So here's what worries me about the A.J. Brown situation. If indeed the Eagles are trading him, and I know a lot of people are still resisting it, and if you say that it's not the right move, I can't even tell you you're wrong. It may not be the right move. But it's pretty clear the player wants to be traded, and it's pretty clear the Eagles realize the player wants to be traded. And are like, the Eagles want to trade him. Right? Would they want to trade him if A.J. Brown was happy here? Probably not, but they do want to trade him, and they're trying to get something done. The longer this drags out, who's their second wide receiver this year? Right? If you have names in mind that you'd be interested in, I don't know if it's Mike Evans, but the longer you wait, the more names are taken off the market. Then you're relying on the second or third tier guy. Who's the former Eagle that just signed with I saw somebody sign.
Olamide Zaccheaus.
There it is.
Zaccheaus. Who was, by the way, was really good last year with.
Yeah, he had his moments with the Bears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he goes
now Falcon again.
Now he goes back to Atlanta. Yeah, like, I'm not telling you that he's a guy that, but like there are guys you can go out there and target that you like to be your second or third receiver. Mm-hmm. You can't rely on the draft for both of them. And if you're waiting until that second wave, that third wave, okay, but I hope you have names in mind. All I'm saying is that it'd just be a lot cleaner if you're going to make a trade. You make the trade now, so then you can actually deal with the position.
Yeah, I could talk myself into a number of receivers that are available via free agency. One would be Juwan Jennings. I thought Juwan Jennings played really well with the 49ers in a tough spot. Shaheed is another guy that I could talk myself into in a certain role because we know what he's capable of, though. He's a big play.
He's a burner.
Yeah, he's a burner. He's a burner. So, like, if Devontae's underneath, or you can go ahead and work it underneath a little bit, you know what you're getting there. But I did think it made sense, unfortunately, for the Giants to go after Shaheed because you got Neighbors, and if you get that guy that can take it over the top, it's only going to make life easier for him. So we'll see.
Yep, and then tight end. I don't think Goddard signs right off the bat with anybody. That's going to take maybe this week. I am mildly surprised. Well, I mean, listen, we're not even 20 minutes into it. But I do expect Dean and Blankenship to go relatively early.
Well, I did just get a tweet here, and let me give some credit. Brad checking in, boys. And I don't know how you guys feel about the prediction markets. Kalshi.
I don't think much of it.
Yeah, me neither. But Njoku apparently is favored to sign with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Correct.
30%.
I saw that. I don't know if it was updated, but I did see that before.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, that was 11:18 a.m. or so an hour ago.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that market was out there before that I saw. So it makes sense. He's been rumored to have interest from the Eagles.
Man, Kalshi came out of nowhere, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm not a...
I'm not a prediction market either guy because it's like there's too much going on. Like, I got enough with the sports gambling sites that are actually legal in this country.
Like Bet Parks. Yeah, I got my hands full with Bet Parks, bro.
There you go.
I don't need anything else.
There you go.
All right, Zach Berman also reporting that Landon Dickerson, who was it, Cam Jurgens that went to Columbia and not South Carolina, the country, for stem cell? Apparently Landon Dickerson went there as well for stem cell therapy. Good.
All right.
Get these guys healthy. 610-632-0975. Phone line, text line, and also voice memo. So we talk about how you send a voice text. If you have a voice text with everything we're talking about, 610-632-0975. That's how you send it. Let us know what you're thinking as we await what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. I do not expect this A.J. Brown situation to be taken care of today. Maybe by the end of the week. But it's something that might take a couple more days of hard negotiations. Alec Pierce, who was rumored to have interest from the Patriots, back to Indianapolis on a huge contract.
Monster.
Does this mean A.J. Brown is more likely to go to the Patriots? I believe so. I still believe that he's going. Ray, have you changed? You're 55%.
Is it anyone but the Patriots at this point?
It's just the Patriots.
It's just the Patriots.
I don't believe the Chargers are really in. I don't believe the Chiefs are in. I don't believe it.
So we're just waiting to see what so basically this is no longer just us reporting on the Eagles. I have to just keep tabs on what the Patriots do because they just spent $13 million apparently.
Unless someone sneaks in, and I mean it happened with the loser running back DeMarco Murray. Remember, first wave of free agency, no one was interested, or he didn't have the interest, and then Chip was like, "Oh, DeMarco Murray's still out there." That wasn't their plan. No. But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we have Ryan Matthews. Let's pay another running back. And then they end up paying another running back.
You are throwing some names out there. Ryan Matthews, a name I haven't thought about in forever. Good work by you.
Think about him every week.
Real quick on the Kalshi, they did have Pierce going back to the...
Oh, yeah, they're not wrong. I'm not telling you they're wrong. I just think it's dangerous to have...
Njoku to the Eagles? Thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
I agree.
Yeah, he gives you a dynamic that Goddard... I love Goddard. I think Goddard's a great player, but... If they're saying that we got the best out of Goddard that we got last year,
that's a good way of looking at it.
Like you bring him back, he can only get injured and you'll be unhappy. All right, coming up, the latest on what's going on with the Eagles and the tampering period. Middays with Marks. Don't go anywhere.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Legal tampering has begun. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The legal tampering period in the National Football League has opened up as of noon today. The early move off the board, Alec Pierce will return to the Indianapolis Colts on a 4-year, $116 million contract. How does that impact the Eagles? Well, Pierce was someone that was rumored to be going to the Patriots. At least the Patriots had interest in him if he was not going to go back to Indianapolis. That's not happening, which means Patriots still very much in play for A.J. Brown, despite the fact that Ian Rappaport believes some of the talks have stalled out.
Does not seem as of right now that there is momentum toward this deal. We think it happened. These deals can change on a dime.
And so far, nothing has changed on a dime with A.J. Brown. We'll keep you updated on that and everything happening in NFL free agency. Sixers return to the floor tonight in Cleveland against the Cavs. 7 o'clock, you can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic. They're without Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7. You can listen to the game on WMMR. This update is brought to you by TireRack.com. Ranger Shine, drive the Compton Vestadine tires from Tire Rack. Vestadine tires deliver precision handling, dependable traction, and quiet comfort. Ship fast and free with 2 years of free road hazard protection. TireRack.com. I'm Ray Ton, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
The Eagles is our own Bill Colarulo reporting that Jalen Carter not on the trade block. In fact, the Eagles are working hard to extend his contract, and he expects it to happen sooner than later. How about that, Ray Dunn?
Yeah, I do love what John Clark put out there about an hour ago.
That ain't right. Show some love to your boy. Come on, man.
12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing, 48 months. Rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more, servicefirsthvac.com. John Clark said he's hearing it. Bill on our show saying he's reporting.
Reporting.
There you go.
That's right.
All right, some signings here. We have Kenneth Walker III to the Chiefs, Sean Brace.
Wow. Love it from the Chiefs' perspective. Love it for Kenneth Walker. I was a big fan of his coming out of college. Of course, being the two-headed monster up there in Seattle really took it on when Zach Charbonnet got hurt, and you saw what he's able to do. And now he's getting an opportunity to go play for the Kansas City Chiefs with Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they could not run the football effectively.
Nope.
They struggled all the time. I mean, there's Kareem Hunt. Who else is some of the cast of characters?
Well, Isaiah Pacheco couldn't stay healthy, which is a major problem. But Kareem Hunt, yeah, they were just happy if he fell forward for 4 yards.
Yeah, correct. So,
which he had problems doing.
Do we have the number, though?
Yeah, I wonder what the number is. I can't imagine it is a running back.
Okay.
So it can't be super duper. But because a lot of the mock drafts had the Chiefs taking Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, with the 9th pick. That's not the way Andy Reid drafts. He doesn't draft running backs with top 10 picks.
I didn't think so either, but you saw that was a big glaring issue with him.
And he's a stud. But they overdrafted. What was the guy that he was a hyphenated name? I already forgot his name.
Clyde
Edwards-Helaire.
And he sucked.
Yeah,
so that
got
was
him at the end of the first.
That was a miss. Swift actually was thought to be the top running back in that draft. And he certainly has been better.
One thing that I will say, Chiefs still have their draft capital.
They do. No, they have big draft capital now.
Yep.
Cade Otton returning to Tampa Bay. That was a tight end that some Eagles fans had their eyes on, including you, Sean?
Definitely me. He has some really good hands, and I thought he would fit in nicely. Again, I'm wondering. I can't
What
wait.
about his hands do you like?
Well, they're big. And
you know what that means. Easy to catch the ball.
That's it, exactly. I would just say able to run the passing routes effectively as well. Like when it comes to, I'm really curious to see what that position really brings with Mannion's offense. But if you're going off of what took place in Green Bay and, of course, the Shanahan and so on and so forth going down that tree, tight ends have a huge impact. And it's not to say that Dallas Goedert can't fill in that void, right? I'm not saying that, but I just feel like we know what Dallas is. So I kind of wanted to see something new in
some
that
upside,
spot.
man. Yeah, me too. And by the way, and Rap Sheet, make sure he puts out the agent that did the deal with Cade Otton.
See, there you go.
Oh, thank God. Because that's what every fan's looking for is what agent got it done. So thank you very much.
Your Spidey sense is good on that one. Real quick, I want to put this out here. This morning, I was struggling. this morning. Were you struggling at all this morning?
What, because the time changed? Oh, no, Sean, listen.
The time change. I didn't know.
Well, you also have 2 young kids, and it's brutal for them. And like with Ray, he's peeling himself off a carpet somewhere anyway. He doesn't really know.
It's brutal for me too, man. I'm basically a kid.
That's true.
I was just like, man, I was foggy this morning. I'm on my 3rd cup of Joe over here.
It's so bad for your health.
I just stole one from Panera, right? They just did a food drop, so I took some coffee from there. I was like, nice. But Cowper, I just saw Cowper in the hallway, and we were just talking. He's like, man, I'm struggling with this time change.
Too.
I'm like, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
All right.
Well, because like last night, it's my kids normally go to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and now it's 10 o'clock, and it's like you have to go to bed now.
Yeah.
And 7:15, I'm peeling them out of bed. I'm like, yo, you got to get up. We got to have breakfast. We got to get going. Meanwhile, I got up in my normal time, which is really now 4 o'clock, not 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I got up and worked out as well, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no, the kids were so miserable this morning. No, you have no idea. It's like my 4-year-old's laying on the ground refusing to get dressed. Liz she's got a bad migraine. So the other 2 are okay. They're getting dressed. But the 4-year-old's refusing to get dressed. I don't want to go to school. I'm like dragging her across her room, trying to get it. Then you know what the fight is? They want to wear shorts because it's 73 degrees was the high today.
Are you allowed to wear shorts?
At 70 degrees, they're allowed.
Oh, get out.
Well, that's our rule.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Nice.
Yeah, they're allowed to wear shorts to school.
Is it 70 outside?
73 is
we
the high.
We got to be doing a show outside right now. What's going on here, right?
Yacht Rock on Friday.
That's it.
There we go. All right, 3 years, $43 million for Walker. But what is the key number? Guaranteed money. $25 million guaranteed is what my prediction would be. More or less 2 years. There you go, 28.7.
28.7. Nice.
So that's really a 2-year contract if it doesn't work out. A lot of times with these contracts, if it works out, you're just renegotiating that third year because you want to lower the cap number. So that sets them up to have a running back for 2 years, which is important. But now, do they want to sign a wide receiver? Because, by the way, like Travis Kelce ain't all that good anymore.
No, man, he's not.
No. So, yeah, you want to go out and pay a running back. That's smart, but who's Pat Mahomes throwing to?
How about year 14?
Man, he's is he the all-time best?
No. Tight end?
Some people will say.
Oh, wow.
I don't think Gronk played as long, and he had the injury.
You want to be respectful of the fact that, like, they did win Super Bowls. I get it, but, man, is Travis Kelce.
Oh, so Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, see, TG is the first one that comes to my mind. Gronk's up there. There's no doubt about
Gates.
that.
He's better than Gates.
I love Gates, yeah, but he's better than Gates. You're right.
Shannon Sharp.
Man, Shannon was awesome. Shay was the best, yeah.
Beast. I see, like, playing in today's game, what would Shannon Sharp look like? It's difficult because Shannon didn't play that long ago, but he played long ago. I guess he did play that long ago.
I'll give Travis Kelce a nod. He's definitely
top 5
up
easy.
There. Yeah, easily.
All right. So there you go. Is there's not really any news developing with the Eagles right now, other than Phillips was thought to be the first guy that would come off the board as far as from an Eagles perspective. As it stands right now, nothing as far as that. I mean, the Eagles did some work over the weekend.
Correct.
You were on the air with Jordan Davis?
Yeah, look.
Did you give we have breaking Eagles news?
Dutch did.
Dutch broke it on the air?
And he jumped out, like he hits the sounder. I'm like literally doing, I think, a Phillies minute. He hits the breaking news sounder. It scares the bejesus out of me. I'm still getting used to this, right? Like when Ray told me Blue Chew in my ear, I jumped. I didn't know what was going on. So all of a sudden I look up, and I'm thinking A.J. Brown. He goes, we got breaking Eagles news. Hits the sounder and everything. He's like, Jordan Davis. And I'm just like, all right. I wasn't, deflated by no mean, but I wanted A.J. Brown news.
Right.
It took a second to get the cobwebs out. But
look, it also needs to be set up. Dutsy's still new on the board in there or whatever.
Dutz just jumped at it, man. He came flying off the top row. We got breaking news. But again, you go back, and that's a huge deal for the Eagles, right? They drafted Jordan Davis. He's been able to prove his worth, especially in these last 2 seasons. They lost out on Milton Williams. They were not going to lose out on Jordan Davis this past year or for this upcoming season and moving on. Finished the season playing in every one of those games, 72 tackles, 4.5 sacks. And you remember the of course on special teams getting the block kick, but also knocking down balls at the line of scrimmage, batted balls, getting those big paws up in the air, like John Madden would say. There's a lot of great with Jordan Davis, man. So his first 3 seasons, ho-hum, maybe a little down, if we're honest about it. But, man, these last 2, he's really stepped up in a big way.
All right, so the Rams, their weakness of their defense was their secondary, at least on paper, not anymore, as they have signed former Chief cornerback Jalen Watson to a 3-year contract. So reuniting Watson and Duffy, the Kansas City Rams, as Adam Schefter says.
Nice.
Again, by the way, in case you were wondering, Colin Roberts of Excel did the trade. Thanks, Schefter.
Colin's been busy.
He has been.
He did that, and he just did one of the other deals I saw. Good for Colin Roberts.
Yeah, that nice commission on.
I was going to say, generations of Colin Roberts families lined up within the first hour of legal tampering.
All right, coming up, will the Eagles do anything early? What's the first move that happens regarding the Eagles? Is it losing a player? Is it getting a player? And we'll give you the latest signings. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
NFL free agents.
crack a Dr. Pepper for this one. Cheers.
Might need a little something more stiffer than that.
All right, let's bring that down so we can give the official breaking news. All right, Jalen Phillips has signed with the Carolina Panthers. He is not a Philadelphia Eagle. A 4-year, Ray, how much money per year?
$120 million.
4 years, $120 million. Jalen Phillips, we've been speaking like that it was just assumed that he was resigning here, as everything we've heard was momentum building towards Jalen Phillips going back to the Eagles. Not so fast, my friend. He signs with the Carolina Panthers, $30 million a year. I'm dying to know how much is guaranteed. Dying as we are now looking right now to try to see that.
Shefty saying $80 million in guaranteed money.
So 2.5 years, really 3 years where he's guaranteed, and then it'd be a big you could cut him after that. Yeah, you know what? If the price tag was $30 million a year, I think Howie Roseman made the right decision.
Yeah, that's a tough one to argue. That's definitely a tough one to argue. I immediately have to ask myself, what the hell are the Carolina Panthers doing? Dan Morgan down there, I get it. You have a need, you have a want. That's fine, but that is that's an overspend if I've ever seen one. Like, Phillips is good. He's good.
He's good.
That's great money, though. That's next level money.
We have a good club.
Yep. He's good. Well, I know Ray's going to be happy because we were kind of aligned the entire time. Yeah, it feels like Phillips is coming back. Phillips is a good player, but I'm not paying him. I mean, that's not Myles Garrett money. It's close. At least per year. Anything that's $30 million a year, I got to have a guy that has a chance to have double-digit sacks every year. This guy's, I mean, he hasn't had double-digit sacks.
2 sacks as an Eagle. You got here at the trade deadline. Yeah. 2 sacks. Let's all take a deep breath. Over the last 3 seasons, injuries and production. Injuries have limited a little bit of that production. But again, we've mentioned a couple times as the running joke, same sacks as Derek Barnett over the last 3 seasons. You gave $30 million to a guy who hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now, they said when he got into Vic Fangio, we're getting back with Vic Fangio. That's the fit. That's what's going to work for him. Well, he's not with Vic Fangio now, so we'll see what ends up happening down there. And I want to point out, he, like a lot of people I know from school that loved being in Philadelphia, did choose the Charlotte weather over Philadelphia. I just want that pointed out for a guy that said he loved Philadelphia's weather and went south as fast as he could. Kind of disappointing.
That's true.
He got paid.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that he got that much money. Almost everybody was talking about around $20 million a year.
Yeah, the only time I saw somebody getting anywhere close to that money was Hendrickson. I thought Hendrickson was going to be getting somewhere like 28 to 33, somewhere in that range, right? We've been discussing him for a long time. I feel like he's been having a little bit more of an impact, getting home to quarterbacks, tallying up sacks. I know he didn't really do that last season, if I'm not mistaken, but the year before he ripped it up, and the year before that. I mean, this guy's been dominant. Jalen Phillips is young. He had his moments, but man, I'll tell you, I'm not shocked because now is the time that you're going to see teams overspend.
Yeah, you're right. It's free agency.
It's free agency.
Yep. I'm trying to find.
Won't see him no more.
I'm trying to find the Jeremy Fowler, what he posted on ESPN.com yesterday, I guess, because he had said the backup plans are 2 players. And the one player was a guy you'd have to trade a pick for, Minnesota, and he was already making $18 million a year, and he wanted a new contract. So that's really the question: is Jalen Phillips leaves? Jalen Phillips left. I thought he would have been good coming back. I wouldn't have given him that much money, but now you got to replace him. We were talking about Nolan Smith earlier. You give him the 5th-year option or not? Maybe you give him the 5th-year option. Now you can definitely pay Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
that's
Jalen Carter, congrats. Nolan, you know what? This happened for the dogs, all right? This is for Georgia. This move was for all of you that love the Georgia Philly dogs because they're going to be able to stick around and hang out with one another now, except for Nakobe Dean because I still think he's going.
The Colts are sending wide receiver Michael Pittman to the Steelers. He was somebody I had interest in. A big-bodied kind of slot receiver who had, I think he had a down year this year. But, yep, Jalen Phillips. So where are they going? What does their room look like right now? Their defensive end edge rusher room. Yeah, it's a little light.
It is, and they're definitely going to have to do something because that's such an important position. And again, we know they're going to do something. But are they out on the Hendrickson move? Which is it too pricey?
So
does he fit the Fangio system scheme? Like, I'm very cautious to really dive into that.
I think Hendrickson makes, I guess they're running the same thing down in Dallas, but who was it that explained that to us? Was it Fowler or somebody that was on was saying that Hendrickson's never played what Vic Fangio runs. He's more of a traditional 4-3 defensive end.
Yeah.
Which is really not something that the Eagles run. And would you have to ask him to stand up and be an edge rusher? I don't think that's anything he's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The name that you were looking for from the Minnesota Vikings, Jonathan Grenard, and he has played with the Houston Texans for 4 seasons, the last 2 with the Minnesota Vikings. And again, decent name, nothing earth-shattering. Last year only played in 12 games. The year before, the full 17. Looks like he's been battling some injuries himself. Again, he was the 3rd-round pick in the 2020 NFL draft, so been around the league for a little while.
Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, and Brandon Graham? Who are your ends right now?
Thank you, 97.5.
Do they look at Campbell as a are they thinking about putting him as a defensive member? He was supposed they're like, he could be an edge rusher, but then he played last year. He wasn't an edge rusher. He was the linebacker. Because then a lot of people were saying, well, maybe they don't view him as an edge rusher.
Yep.
I don't know.
Bradley Chubb was a name that we were discussing on Saturday. Dotsie was a big Bradley Chubb guy. So apparently that's what Zach Berman is floating out there now, to keep an eye on Bradley Chubb.
Okay. All right, text reaction, 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Send voice memos or call. Ray, what do we got?
We got some text here. I want to let you know that we just got Jordan Schultz putting down Isaiah Likely, 3 years, $40 million, Giants.
Okay.
Likely to the Giants.
Likely goes to the Giants.
And that was a rumor.
Another tight end off the board here. Yep. We got text immediately. Great news. More money for Nakobe Dean. Let's go. So does that mean you move John Campbell to outside rusher and keep Dean? I would like that. Dean is a beast, and let's do that in a heartbeat. Rob from Philly but lives in Minnesota. 2 different texters.
Oh, Rob in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Rob calls us. I'm open to that. Do the Eagles think that he's an edge rusher, though?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer right here. I don't believe so, but is it out of the realm of possibility that they can't make that happen? No.
When Campbell was recruited, he was recruited as an edge rusher. His first 2 years at Alabama, he was an edge rusher. And then because of injuries and things like that, he became more of a stand-up linebacker. When Howie Roseman drafted him, after the draft, if you were reading between the lines, it sounded like they were thinking about making him a Micah Parsons. But then last year he played. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely possible. But then you're going into the season very, very thin at the end position or the edge rusher position. And there's still the draft and there's still the rest of free agency. But if you look at what they did last year, they signed a bunch of guys and none of them really did anything, right? Ojulari didn't do anything. Who else am I thinking of, Ray, Uche didn't do anything.
Uche.
They had another guy that they signed that didn't do anything. So they threw a bunch of darts and none of them hit the board.
And you were forced into trading for Jalen Phillips.
And signing Brandon Graham.
Right, which we already got the obligatory bring back BG text.
He's coming back. I mean, I hope you're excited.
He didn't want to be home anymore. He's just like...
He did not.
No, that's it. Real quick, Malik Willis to the Dolphins.
Saw that.
All right. No money reported yet. I'm not seeing a number attached to him just yet. But it seemed like that
30 a year.
That was going to be the case. You think he's going to get that number?
So what did Fields get last year? About 30, but it was just for really a year and a half. Yeah, the thought was that he gets around that, maybe with some more guaranteed money. But, I mean, here's the good thing: he's going to get it. It's his job. It's now his job.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? His passing game coordinator, former Eagles offensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, that's right. Dan Patullo. All right, so Rossini checking in. Malik Willis is signing a 3-year deal worth $67.5. That includes $45 guaranteed.
So, man, just over 20 a year. That's a good deal for the Dolphins.
Yep, I agree.
All right. There we go. So really earth-shattering news. Jalen Phillips does not sign with the Eagles. He signs with the Carolina Panthers. You surprised? Ray, you shocked?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Not at this money, at least. Like $30 million did seem like it was the walkaway point. I didn't think he'd get 30, and I didn't think the Eagles would let him walk out the building. So I'm kind of surprised the market was what it was for him, and I'm surprised that after all that reporting, oh, yeah, Jalen Phillips, the Eagles, yeah, they feel good about this. that all of a sudden was a Radport. We played it for you like 2 hours ago. It's like, yeah, last night they had great momentum to a deal. It's now Monday afternoon. He's gone.
He's gone. Yep.
He's gone.
Oh, well.
So what does this mean? What does this mean? A guy that gets 15 sacks a year is worth $100 million a year?
Correct.
This guy's worth 30.
He's worth an organization. You give him stake in the organization. Percentage.
All right, coming up, your reaction. We'll give you the latest. 610-632-0975. Jalen Phillips does not re-sign with the Eagles. Your thoughts coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
4 years for Phillips. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. It's 4 years, $120 million for Jalen Phillips, but not to be a Philadelphia Eagle. He signs with the Carolina Panthers. $80 million of that $120 million guaranteed for the edge rusher who was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles midseason. He now has a new home down in Carolina. That is the biggest news in Philadelphia out of the first hour of the legal tampering period in the NFL. So the Eagles now left looking for more options at edge rusher after Jalen Phillips departs. Again, $30 million per season to go become a Carolina Panther. We'll keep you updated with everything going on across the NFL today. A number of signings. We've seen Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely both go off the board, 2 tight ends. That number of people had talked about the Eagles potentially going after if they are to lose Dallas Goedert in free agency. We have not yet heard anything on Goddard, Blankenship, or Nakobe Dean. We'll keep you updated on all those things. Look at the Philadelphia sports scene tonight. The Sixers back in action against the Cavaliers tonight. No Tyrese Maxey, no Joel Embiid. 7 o'clock. You can listen to it right here on the Fanatic, and the Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7 on WMMR. This update's brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app. It's a song that was in for Mike's Beds, and it's just called Losing My Edge. Kind of figured it was timely with our loss of Jalen
I feel
Phillips.
great. I do. I feel great. I have no issues at all with Phillips not resigning.
You can't. It's not even up for debate. You cannot meet that number. That is a walk away. Sorry.
Yeah.
Have a good time in Charlotte, Holmes.
I mean, honestly, $25 million a year for me, I would have walked away. Hey, like I know that pressure rates, oh, it's not just about getting the quarterback; it's about putting pressure on the quarterback. I agree with that, but those guys, I think the guys that make money are the guys that get sacks. So I think my eyes can tell you. I don't know what everybody else's eyes told you about Jalen Phillips. He was good. He wasn't great. I mean, he kind of came in right away, and it was like, wow, he's really good. Where was he in the playoff game?
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I would have liked him to have him on the team. There's no way you're giving him $30 million a year. That's insane.
So have fun with the Carolina Panthers. Jalen Phillips to the Panthers, and now the Eagles need to figure out what they're going to do at the end position, and Bradley Chubb seems to be the one that's catching the most attention. Now, for the people that don't know about Bradley Chubb, it seems like the Dolphins were saying that it's going to be too expensive to keep him. His base salary of $18.5 and account $31.5 million against the cap in this year, so the Dolphins cut ties rather than bring him back at that number.
Yeah, sure. So you can get him really probably on a 1 or a 2 year contract,
right? Yep.
He's familiar with if he was in Fangio's defense. If Vic signs off on him, that means it's like, okay, now go get that guy. I would much rather do that. Listen, their biggest weakness on their defense is pressure from the edge.
Yep.
Agreed?
Chubb is 29. He turns 30 in June.
He's feels like he's been around forever.
Talking myself into Bradley Chubb over here. Getting, dare I say, chubbed up.
When we brought up Chubb before, I think every man out there.
I mean, I had to, right?
It took 10 minutes for us to get to that joke.
Right.
I had the under of 2 minutes.
I didn't say it. I thought it.
It was a lock. That was a lock.
I took the under.
Come on.
So, for example, one of the reasons why the Eagles are going to have to now be creative in how they pay all these guys is because they did so well in the draft. The one guy that they actually, I wouldn't even say it's a miss because Nolan Smith's been good.
Yeah.
Last year just wasn't great. You would like to say about him, hey, he can be your number, even though he may not be a number one defensive end, he can be your number one defensive end. Jalen Phillips would have been in your number one defensive end. Is he really a number one defensive end? I don't know, but probably not. I need a guy that's getting 10-plus sacks. So if he was a better all-around end and he does this, fine, whatever. But they really need to – they got to figure this out, and this is where they need to use probably a draft pick. Maybe it's somebody you get from the A.J. Brown trade. But maybe Howie's creative and he makes a move around the draft and he's able to get a guy in here.
Yeah.
I don't know, but –
yeah, that's important to point out, John, and this is obviously where we're all at, but we don't have to field a team for this Sunday, right? We got a long way to go. I get it. Panic. You want him to sign all the free agents. We all do, right? We all want the big names, but all in all, Howie's got a plan and he's ready to go, and I'm sure that these are the things that these guys know and they hear and they talk to other general managers around the league, and I'm sure that there was probably something there that led them to believe that there was a good chance that Jalen Phillips would fetch a monster number, a big contract. And if they did, there's always a backup plan. Howie's not scrambling by no means. No way. But I did say today that I thought he was the guy.
Is he surprised? And now he's like, because you always have a backup plan, which you have to have. That doesn't mean that you're not surprised when someone swoops in. I mean, just the fact that all the insiders everybody was anticipating him signing.
Yep.
So there's no way that they weren't at least surprised, because you had said it last segment, and you're right. Nobody should be surprised when anything like this happens in free agency, because Carolina comes in. You know, when New England signed Milton Williams, there wasn't a lot of talks before. Like the story was the Patriots came in and gave him the offer, and they said, "Yep, we'll take that." So the same thing probably happened with Phillips, where there wasn't a lot of intel that Carolina was going to be in, because there was no mention of Carolina being in on Phillips. Not like this.
You know, it's funny because you both had Drake May and Bryce Young, so you get those young quarterbacks with the rookie deals that they're on, and you can spend in other categories, other positions like that. And you saw with Milton Williams and the Patriots, and now you're seeing with the Carolina Panthers and Jalen Phillips. Go ahead and spend a lot of money.
Yep. All right, what's the reaction, Ray? Are people freaking out or people mad? I can't imagine. Like with me, I'm concerned about the position. It sucks, but there's no way I'm giving him $30 million a year. at all. So I'm not even no bother. I'm not even worried. I'm kind of like whatever.
You know what? You know what would worry me more than anything right now is if the Cowboys land like Hendrickson, like that. Okay, that's a good move by the Giants. Getting likely. Is that a championship move? No,
but it gets them to.
It's a nice step.
Makes them better. Young quarterback.
Correct. They're putting it together, building it the right way. If the Cowboys go out there and get a guy like Hendrickson or Dean, like now, then that's when the worry might set in for me. But for right now, I'm not too worried. I don't know what the texters are saying, right?
There isn't a lot of worry. There's a lot of people that are just going with the standard, way too much money, overpay.
Good.
Panthers did too much there. Not a ton of panic amongst people, which I feel like your first level of reaction to all this should have been, wow, $30 million for that guy? But the second level reaction is, even if you didn't want to pay him that does mean you're down an edge rusher.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, but you can't.
Yeah, you can't pay him just because you'd run out of a body there. But
there was a walk away. I mean, he did have a. I mean, you were pot committed. I can't believe you get 30.
It's a lot of money.
So much.
And the third round draft pick. Now you'll get compensation or whatever to where if it's the end of the third round. But yeah, I heard Howie say this in a. I don't know if I read it or I heard it, but he had said that if you trade a third round draft pick and it can win you a playoff game, he'd trade that third round draft pick every time. And you know who he was talking about when he was mentioning that? Golden Tate. Golden Tate had that catch against the Bears. It's pretty much the only thing he really did as an Eagle. But he had the catch in the playoff game. And I'm telling you, when he said that, that's what he was talking about. Like, hey, every time I'll give up a third-round draft pick if it means I can win a playoff game, and that helped them win a playoff game. Jalen Phillips didn't get you a playoff win, but a third-round draft pick was well worth it to get your best defensive end in there. I don't know.
Would you guys welcome a Bosa? Joey? Played well last year with the Bills.
Yeah, what's that going to...
1-year deal he played with the Bills.
I know.
Not so sure if that's what's going to happen this time. Man,
I would assume so.
He's been in the league a long time.
He's 30.
2016.
Let me see. Last year, he had first year outside of the Chargers, he had 5 sacks.
Correct. Played in 15 games.
In 15 games. Isn't he like more of a specialty edge rusher than anything else? Because you're going to, listen, you're going to need those guys.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that your tackles are so good and they get that push coming up the middle, really, if you have an edge rusher worth a damn, they should be getting close to 10 sacks just because of the pressure you're getting up the middle.
They need to announce the Jalen Carter extension. That's what they need to do.
So people don't freak out.
You had a heck of a weekend.
No freaking out as of yet.
No. Smart fans listen to the Fanatic. I always said that.
Correct.
This isn't Toxic Avenger radio.
No, it's not. It is not. So some relatively big stories so far in free agency.
It's fun. It's exciting because you're seeing these names. Teams are doing some work, right? You got some change. You got some carryover from Alec Pierce staying in ND. But that also connects the dots, too, for the Eagles. And a lot of this does come back to the Eagles, right? There is always these connections, so we'll see what happens with that. But, man, there's nothing better than the NFL, and a lot is happening right now in that league.
Howie Roseman, when asked about about Phillips and the fact that they did trade for him, he said, we understood also, here's the worst-case situation, which is he's going to be a free agent. If he leaves as a free agent, you have to not sign somebody to get the comp pick for next year. So, in other words, if you're going to get that comp pick, you can't sign anybody. So, it's a formula. However many players leave, however many players come back. So, if you sign somebody to replace them, you don't get anything for it. So, you just kind of do it. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I do not. So, they let Jalen Phillips get to free agency, and he is no longer an Eagle.
I did see that there was one outlet that did float the idea, just so everybody knows, with a bold prediction, boys. And that bold prediction from CBS Sports was the Eagles will sign Trey Hendrickson. And I'll read you the following. With Jalen Phillips set to hit free agency, the team once again finds itself in need of some pass rushing help. Instead of landing Phillips, who has a sizable injury history, the Eagles pivot and upgrade by signing former Bengals pass rusher Henderson. 31-year-old has elite upside for a team like Philadelphia, which is in a thick of a Super Bowl window. So at least there are people out there floating the idea. Again, that is a big-time price tag, so I'm not holding my breath. That doesn't seem like a Howie Roseman type move, but we'll see. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not going to happen either. I will be a little worried if he does end up in Dallas.
Yep.
I think he's a good defensive end.
The Chiefs, Kenneth Walker III, he has been signed by Kansas City. That earlier on in the last hour, Cade Otton, one of the tight end options that Eagles fans were looking at, he goes back to Tampa Bay. The Rams now have signed another former Chiefs cornerback as Jalen Watson goes to the Rams on a pretty big contract for him. Laremy Tunsil goes back gets an extension with Washington.
Does he take the bong mask with him?
I was in Chicago for that. I was at the draft in Chicago.
Wow.
We were sitting in the seats waiting for the draft to start. I was with Jamie Lynch. And we're sitting in the seats, and all of a sudden, everybody at the same time is like, what the hell? Whoa. And then the bong video, which when they put out by his dad or something, or put out by somebody.
Crazy.
He had a gas mask on. Not even a bong. He had a bong gas mask on.
Yeah. They sell them at flea markets. You could always find one of those.
Well, I'd say 10 years later, he's done pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
He's got $30 million a year extension.
Correct.
From the Commanders. Michael Pittman, now a Steeler. They signed him to a new contract as well. And that was a trade, but that was more or less, we're going to cut you. And then they swapped late round selections. So no real draft compensation for that.
He was a name that was being discussed by a number of teams out there, Pittman.
I would have taken a shot at Pittman, but A.J. Brown's still an Eagle.
Correct.
It's tough to get another wide receiver when you still have A.J. Brown. Malik Willis will go to the Dolphins. I think you had said that's a little bit over 20 a year. Isaiah Likely, 3-year deal with the Giants. Here's something else that does for the Giants and Harbaugh. It helps establish their program.
Ooh, yeah, it's a good call.
So he brings up a guy that he knows is a good leader and everything else.
All that stuff is new to me still. It's like, yeah, Harbaugh, former coach. Yep, you're right about that.
What else do we have here? Phillips probably, is that the biggest? That's the biggest contract so far?
He was top 3 for all the lists coming in. Everybody had him top 3 free agent, and that is a huge deal. Got paid. Again, I know you brought it up, but Kenneth Walker, the fact that he just went on a heck of a run, had a great season with Seahawks, I thought that was a pretty big deal. Good deal as well.
Yeah, not as many. We're currently in a wave in free agency where there's not a ton of good players that get the free agency. There's a reason why they're available. Like with Milton Williams, he was available because the Eagles were stacked and they just weren't going to be able to sign him. But typically that's not how it works. Jalen Phillips was available because he got traded to the Eagles, and the Eagles weren't going to sign him after they just traded for him, or they elected not to. And I guess it was a good move by Jalen Phillips not to resign, huh?
Yep. You're right about that.
And Tua, for people that didn't hear, Tua will be a free agent, and he can sign. The Falcons are allegedly involved or interested in Tua.
Looking like the Atlanta Falcons want Tua to come to the ATL, and I don't know. He's just got a great agent, and I get it. He was a high draft pick, but I'm out on Tua as far as a franchise quarterback. A
potential tight end replacement for Dallas Goedert has been scooped off the board as Austin Hooper goes back to the Falcons. $3.25 million 1 year contract. I didn't expect the Eagles to sign him, but he was a name that was out there at least.
Correct, yeah.
And Cade Otton went as well. So Isaiah Likely getting $40 million contract over 3 years. So that shows you what tight ends are making.
Yeah, we do have a new one up on the board right there,
what
too. Former Eagle.
Kenny Gainwell. So for 2 years, $14 million. I'm curious to see the guarantee. To me, that's more of a 1 year.
He balled last year.
He was really good. He had 70-some catches.
He played well.
But don't they have like 3 running backs down there that were really good?
In Tampa?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a bunch of
Bucky, Irving.
Who was hurt.
And then Rashad White would be the other
But then
one,
there
right?
was a Sean somebody that came in when Irvin was hurt, and he was really
Tucker?
good.
Yes,
right?
that's it. Yep, you're right.
I watch football, I promise.
All right. Look, I was a Gainwell fan. We understood. He got his opportunity to go to Pittsburgh. Wished him the best. I thought he played really well. Why is he leaving? Why are the Pittsburgh Steelers allowing him to leave?
Because they don't pay players. Really, if you look at all their running backs, what running back have they kept? Of all that, they always have running backs. Bettis.
Yeah.
James Conner left. He was around for a little bit, but James Conner left.
That's crazy.
Record deal for a punter?
I would have thought that he would stick around. He had 73 catches last year.
Yeah.
Or 480.
He was really good.
Yep.
Apparently, we have a record deal for a punter, according to Adam Schefter.
And it's not Braden Mann?
It's not
who's
Braden
a free
Mann.
agent.
No, yeah. So Jordan Stout, the Ravens free agent punter, has got a 3-year, $12.3 million deal to make him the NFL's highest paid punter and take him up to New York with his former head coach, John Harbaugh. The Giants know who they'll be sending out there when Dark goes 3 and out.
The Giants North, or the Ravens North.
Just to back up the Steelers, they got Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson too.
Yeah, Jalen Warren is a backup. Yeah. He's not a number one back. He's not. So maybe they draft somebody. I mean, the Steelers. I never really get the Steelers. I don't know. Guys leave all the time.
What are they going to do at the quarterback position? Is Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
He's going to be that.
And they'll probably overdraft Ty Simpson, or if he doesn't go early.
Yeah,
good in the draft. Yeah. So Gainwell goes back. By the way, Braden Mann is a free agent, and I would expect him to be the highest paid punter in the NFL next. Dude, he's a real weapon, man.
Call it what it is. That deal, the only reason I put that up on your board, obviously we could have some fun with punters making money. If somebody just got $12.3 million as a punter, Braden Mann was one of the more showcased punters in all the NFL this year because people watched the Eagles and they watched how awful that offense was.
And he's good. He can kick it 80 yards.
It's a good call.
He's good inside the 20.
He was probably the best weapon the Eagles had offensively a year ago.
Well, some may say that after Brett Toth, he might have been the second MVP.
That's a really good point.
There you go.
Man, what is Toth going to get?
Probably a new job. I think he's a free agent, too. No, they should bring him back. Who would you take, Ray Guy or Braden Mann?
Now we're talking.
Got to be Braden Mann.
Punter talk, baby.
It's the modern NFL, man. Whole different beast.
All right. A lot of people advocating for Nakobe Dean you're seeing there, Raymond Dunn?
Yeah, that's been the biggest thing on the text line. And I'm wondering if Sean remembers this conversation we had while John was out. If Phillips were to sign, like I did the comparison of 2022, when the Eagles and it seemed like CJ/GJ were going to work something out, and then it didn't work out, and they went and pivoted and paid James Bradbury instead. Would they hit a pivot point with this situation of, hey, if you don't get Jalen Phillips, do you pivot and end up paying Nakobe Dean when you didn't plan on paying Nakobe Dean? I don't necessarily believe it to be likely, but a lot of people having that same thought process right now about, hey, like you said about Chad Campbell about a half hour ago, just see if he can be an edge rusher. Why not? Just see if he can be an edge rusher. You know what you got in Nakobe Dean. A lot of people right now going down that thought process.
Yeah, but I mean, how much money are you paying him? Okay.
Yeah, plus it's up to the player, too, as well. And I'm sure he has some suitors out there that want him at his position.
So here's how Nakobe Dean comes back. There's a soft market for him. And it makes more sense for him to come back, either on a one-year contract or a contract the Eagles didn't think were possible before. Jordan Davis, $26 million a year. Jalen Carter, if he does sign an extension that Bill Kohler was reporting that they're working on. What's he making a year? 35? Right? What's Quinyon Mitchell making in a new contract?
A lot
30
of money.
plus? What's Cooper DeJean making in a new? Now, if it's a one-year contract, yeah, what do I care? But we also have to be realistic you can't sign everybody. It's like with the Phillies. John Middleton doesn't care about winning. He didn't sign Juan Soto. They were never going to sign Juan Soto. You know what I mean? So, you have to be realistic. They weren't bringing Ranger Suarez back. They couldn't afford to. So you would love to keep everybody. I love Nakobe Dean. I really do. He really developed into an excellent player. Then he got injured again last year. So I think it's difficult to make the case. Goddard, I believe, is going to may not even be this week.
Ooh, really? Yeah, I mean, we expect all this stuff.
Or right off the bat, Blankenship. Definitely first week. But I don't. Is the team really ready to give Blankenship a 3 or 4 year contract at $8 million a year? I don't know. Is he really that kind of player?
No, not off the jump.
I don't think so.
Got to let everything settle itself out.
All right, text line 610-632-0975. Voice text 610-632-0975. Just like you're texting anybody, text the Fanatic 610-632-0975 and then hit that little button. The next to where the text is, the plus button. It pops up, it says audio. Send us a voice text with your opinions on everything. And of course, the phone line 610-632-0975. The updates on NFL free agency is coming up next. We'll give you the latest. It is Middays with Marks, 97.5.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Jalen Phillips signs with the Panthers. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. It's brought to you by Morgenstern Medical. This month at Morgenstern Hair Restoration, they're including a free Almated treatment with your procedure. That's $1,000 value free. Call 610-831-AIR. Visit morgensternhair.com. The Eagles have lost edge rusher Jalen Phillips to a contract with the Carolina Panthers. They give him 4 years, $120 million. 80 of that is guaranteed. $30 million per year for the edge rusher that was traded to the Eagles midseason from the Miami Dolphins. So now the Eagles left looking for an edge rusher in free agency potentially later on in the draft. No word on other big-name free agents for the Birds in Nakobe Dean, Dallas Goedert, and Reed Blankenship as of yet, as the NFL legal tampering period opened up at noon today. Elsewhere in town, the Sixers will be without Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Joel Embiid as they match up with the Cleveland Cavaliers. 7 o'clock the game tonight. You can hear it right here on The Fanatic. Flyers have the Rangers tonight at 7. That game on WMMR. This update is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic app.
All right, we're back. It is Middays with Marks. As the tampering period, it's legally, you're allowed to tamper now. So tamper away.
We're tampering, baby.
Jalen Phillips to the Panthers, $30 million a year.
He's tampering.
Anybody was expecting that. This is from Will Parkinson, who I had to just make sure that I know he looks legit.
He played college football. He did some stuff with the Jets as far as
he's a Jets blogger / video guy. So Les Bowen retweeted it, but so Michael Carter II, who had he had a big cap number. He was never going to be the team with this, so he was cut. But then he's going to resign with the Eagles for I think it's a $3 million deal over a year. So he'll be competing for a backup corner spot. But there you go. The Eagles.
A little quiet on the front right now.
Yeah. So the Alec Pierce, the biggest contract other than Phillips, I guess, which is the biggest contract. Alec Pierce, the young, dynamic wide receiver of the Colts, goes back to Indianapolis on a huge contract. There was a lot of thought that the Patriots would be interested. Who knows if they were really interested or not? He's getting close to $30 million a year. It's a $29 million a year contract. It just takes one of the major names off the board as far as free agent wide receivers. So the Patriots can say, hey, there's other options out there for us to the Eagles and not giving up a first-round draft pick. There's just one less option off the board now. And I thought Pierce was going to go early, and he did. Now it's a matter of what happens with the other guys. And there's not a lot of big names out there. Mike Evans is available if they want to sign him to a one-year contract. But as long as the Patriots aren't signing a wide receiver is good news. If I won't even say good news because to me, this isn't even really about trading A.J. Brown or not. It's like I just think that they're trying to trade A.J. Brown. So it's exciting that they're trying to make a trade.
You got Greg Auman, Auman. He's been covering the Tampa Bay Bucks forever. He's got over 80,000 followers. A guy that I definitely follow for all things from Tampa Bay. Said, I'm hearing teams have offered Mike Evans north of $27 million per year. Not sure if Bucks would be willing to match that. Of course, I could read
Seriously?
Sarcasm there. Yeah. I mean, he's the real deal.
$27 million a year.
The hell's going on there?
I mean, I don't know. Can't you?
Not guaranteed, obviously.
Well,
yeah, it's 1 year.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's $27 million a year, that's fine. But he's got to be getting that at least for a year. There's got to be a big
something going on.
Yeah,
there.
there's got. I mean, that's for Mike Evans. I know that Mike Evans Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah,
but
he's 32.
The decline's there, and the injuries were there. And even so, if he's a 1,000-yard receiver, is that worth $27 million a year? I don't know, man. Listen, if he's worth $27 million a year, what's A.J. Brown worth?
Yeah, that's a good
More
question.
than $27 million a year.
At least a first-round pick, am I right?
Amen to that. Yeah, Mike Evans, again, last year was hurt, played in 8 games, and he's dealt with some injury history to a point, but for the most part, he's been reliable, and every single year, 1,000 yards. We know the story there, hanging the banner. Only 3 touchdowns last year in 8 games.
I don't know.
Again, different strokes for different folks. Again, that number is ridiculous, but is there a team out there that thinks they're a wide receiver away and we're going to go ahead and spend top dollar and not have to give up draft capital? Could it be the Patriots?
My biggest issue is that the longer this drags out, the guys that you may have interest in will be coming off the board. And so now what? You trade A.J. Brown later on in the week and guys that you would have considered signing aren't there anymore. I mean, Dobbs is available still. You had mentioned Rashid Shaheed earlier. He's a burner. Makes sense with Devontae kind of being the higher volume catch guy. That's not Shaheed at all. Wendell Robinson, who's a guy I love because he's a real slot receiver.
Yep. And
he could be a high volume catch guy. Didn't he have close to 100 catches last year? That's on a bad team. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But because outside of that, now you have you want Hollywood Brown in here? No.
Pass.
Curtis Samuel?
Pass.
The names aren't great. You mentioned Juwan Jennings. I like Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings has to be the apple in somebody's eye. I know he was for me, and he played really well when they didn't have anybody to help him out as far as wide receivers are concerned. I know Debo played a little bit there down the stretch, but I always thought that he was really good, Jennings. So it would be interesting to see what happens there if a general manager would be in agreement. A lot of punters being signed.
Another punter signing?
A lot of punters are off the board. I mean,
Well, Ray, why don't we focus on punters here coming up the final segment?
Day one punters.
Wow.
And how is Brady Man being left out of this?
Well, I looked at his numbers. They're not as good as I thought.
Well, for an Eagles punter, they're fantastic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want him to leave.
He's the man.
They look
We're
great.
keeping him.
But you do have to cut corners when you're paying. Do you want Jalen Carter? Or you want Braden Mann?
Yeah, that's exactly where we're at.
I might want Mann over Carter. But
I mean, you could get 2 first-round picks out of Carter. You can't get 2 first-round picks out of Mann.
Jake Bailey is signing a 3-year, $9 million deal, $5 million fully guaranteed with the Atlanta Falcons, former Dolphins punter. Like I said, man, the punters are just off the board. Who would have thought day one? We're talking special teams.
Who are your top 5 Jakes?
It's a third of the game
Of all time.
Body by Jake.
First one I think of.
Yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
definitely. Famous Jakes.
Jake from Training Day.
State Farm.
Jake from State Farm's great. Jake from Training Day. I can just hear Denzel going, Jake!
Oh, wow.
Jake!
Jake Paul make that list?
Jake Plummer.
See, the mushroom guy?
Yes, he's an advocate of mushrooms now.
Yes, he is. All right.
A big-time advocate.
Oh, he is Did you have, I think it was, ESPN or was it 60 Minutes? He grows them.
Yeah, he's tripping 24 hours a day.
Microdosing,
Right. Yeah, put some chocolate on it. Now it's a lot of people believe in it right there. Kobe Bryant, not that Kobe Bryant, of course. Bears signing safety Kobe Bryant, 3 years, $40 million. Okay. All right, so where does that set the safety market for Blankenship?
That's a good question.
Kobe Bryant was with the Seahawks. Yeah, that's right.
Super Bowl
So
champion.
now everybody's making money off winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's how it works.
Well, that's
You know
good. That just means the Seahawks, it's going to have to see if Darnold can really carry his team this time around, right?
Over $1 billion spent so far in NFL free agency. You got to love it.
Is that it? Yeah. And the Eagles have spent...
Have they?
Let me check the calculator.
Have they signed anybody?
No.
That's it? Zero?
Well, it's only 95 minutes into it.
Look, I said going into it that I think this is going to be a disappointing free agency for a lot of Eagles fans out there. And who knows? We'll see. The market's got to shake
But I
itself.
also heard that the big splashes were going to be internal in re-signing their own guys, and they were talking about Phillips.
Yeah. And now he's off the table.
So you know what else it does, though? It frees up $20 to $25 million that you thought you were spending on him.
Yeah.
So how do they use that?
Bradley Chubb is definitely a name that we should be looking at.
Chubb makes sense.
Yep. A 1-year deal, maybe you get him a 2-year deal, whatever it may be, but still a guy that's been able to put up some numbers. He's also a guy that's been dealing with some injury history, but has the connection, as you pointed out, with Fangio. Was with the Broncos, was with the Dolphins, played well.
So Chubb didn't play. He missed the entire season because of an ACL 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Last year, he had 8.5 sacks. Before that, 2023, he had 11 sacks, and that was in his first full season with the Dolphins, which was his best sack total since his rookie year when he had 12 sacks. So, yeah, he's been, when you look at his injury past, he had played 4 games 1 year, 14 games, 7 games, 8 games. Oh, no, because he split that season. So he was fully healthy almost that entire season. So, again, now you're getting guys that there's a reason why they're available on 1 or 2 year contracts. When you think edge rushers, there's not many guys that are available on a 1 or 2 year contract at south of 2025. I mean, Jesus, Jalen Phillips has got $30 million a year.
Insane. But it comes back to the rookie quarterback, right? That's why Milton Williams was able to sign with the New England Patriots, Drake May, rookie quarterback contract. And then, of course, what's taking place with Bryce Young, still on that rookie deal. You got money to spend elsewhere. And you spend stupidly, apparently, if you're Dan Morgan.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good luck.
And that's, I guess, the Eagles involved in the biggest signing of the day, but not signing him, and him leaving the Eagles. So there you go. We have what else do we have here? We mentioned Kobe Bryant, a bunch of punters. That's very interesting. Punters going off the board early and often.
Punters, and then with likely going to the Giants, that is, That's two for one. That affects the Eagles because this was the name that was being discussed, potentially filling in for Goddard. If he was not to be re-signed by the Eagles, it should make you look a little bit differently at that, right? It gives you a little bit better feel that maybe Goddard might be coming back, likely goes to the Giants. Who else needs a tight end?
Because some tight ends, you're right. Went off the board. Bucky and Kenny are the 1-2 punch in Tampa. Kenny Gainwell, 2 years and $14 million.
Good for Kenny.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, Eagles fans didn't really like him. Do you remember? Fans were pissed that he used to get carries. He was not the complaining, and I just remember saying Sirianni really likes Kenny Gainwell. They let him walk because he got paid a little bit. Do you remember that, Ray? Were you working in radio? Eagles fans did not like Kenny Gainwell?
Why is he getting 5 to 6 touches? Those same people called in this year asking for Tank Bigsby to get the ball over
You're damn
Saquon
right.
Barkley.
Well, I wasn't going that crazy.
5 or 6 touches, though.
Right. It's just funny. It's when things aren't going well.
The backup running back
became the guy.
We love our backups. T.J. McConnell.
Except Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, we didn't like Kenny Gainwell for some reason.
Aaron Rodgers loves him.
Oh, yeah.
He really did.
That's, the ultimate endorsement.
Well, they had that one play against the Baltimore Ravens to close up the regular season.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, Kenny was on the same page with me. He ran like an audible route without even having to give him the sign. He just knew where he needed to be, and he made a heck of a grab.
Wasn't Kenny Gainwell DMing, fighting with somebody in the DMs at halftime?
Yep.
Wow.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's where it started. Maybe we got to give the fans more credit on that one.
No, but I knew that so much so they disliked him. They used to get he's fighting with people in DMs during a game.
Right. That's kind of on him, though.
Yeah,
it's like kind of on him.
Come on now.
Coming up, the latest in NFL free agency. Our Eagles insider Bill Colarulo coming up at 2:00 with Ricky Batalico. Don't go anywhere.
The world's baseball.
You.
Brown mustard.
Brown
spicy.
mustard. There you
Spicy
go.
brown mustard.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
You ham and cheese sandwich, Ram?
I don't know how you could be.
I've been the almond bread. Is that what I'm buying these days? Right?
Almond flour?
Oh no, it's like the.
I buy the diet bread because I'm diabetic, so it helps my.
It's like literally 88 calories per slice.
That's what I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I eat the low-cal bread.
Yeah. I just
We're
bought
old,
it.
we're old guys. We gotta worry about
Hey,
it.
look. Anywhere you can get it. Cut
Yeah.
the numbers.
Last night was the latest edition of the Ketchup Wars inside the Dunn household. I went home. Sure enough.
Your
there
dad
was-
likes bougie organic
Yep,
ketchup?
he had the organic ketchup
Bougie
out. The rest of us were
organic.
using the Heinz.
Well, they're like, I don't understand why you just don't leave your dad alone. Let him have his organic ketchup, and then the rest of the family can have the regular ketchup. And your dad's eating catsup. You're eating ketchup.
Yeah, we're a two ketchup household. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Some families get divorced, others use separate ketchups.
And I was at the KOP Mall the other day, and they have a hot sauce store.
Yeah, they do.
How about that?
Love the KOP Mall.
Yeah, man. Oh, since we're in the KOP world, real quick, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Concerts Under the Stars released their lineup. Boathouse Row, a yacht rock experience on May the 22nd.
Where do they do it?
I forget.
Parking lot?
No, it's this nice spot. It's like they got a little stage in the middle, all surrounded by grass. You're one with nature. It's a nice little spot. So May 22nd, a little yacht rock experience for us. We might have to have a show excursion.
Oh, man.
They do it really well. If this is the dude, I believe this guy might be the pianist from Citizens Bank Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's good.
He is good.
Love that guy.
Who is that guy?
You know what? It's never been discussed.
He follows me on socials.
Really?
Yeah,
We may have to investigate.
He's good.
All right, so this just in from Josina Anderson. At some point in discussions, a league source conveyed to me Monday the belief that the Eagles may be okay with a 2027 first round and a 2026 second round pick for A.J. Brown. When I asked my sources why Philly may be okay with deferring the first round pick to next year, one source told me the Eagles already have 4 top 100 picks this year. Easier for the other team to give their first round pick next year than this year. Another source said some may believe next year's draft class is stronger. So far, Patriots have had a hard time giving up a first per source. Not clear if that sentiment pertains to both 26 and 27 just yet. That's the latest I've heard from sources on Trade Talk. I mean, if you're the Patriots, wouldn't you rather give this year than next year?
Oh, yeah. Because next year's unknown. This year, you're picking 31.
Right. And I don't know. If I'm the Eagles, what do I prefer? This year? They have a lot of needs.
Yeah, probably this year.
But if it's next year, it's fine. I'd be okay with next year. I don't know. I'm not even for a second saying that Josina isn't talking to people that know anything. It just seems to me that still bringing up a first and a second round draft pick seems like last week, doesn't it? Does anybody believe they're getting a first and a second now? It seems like they won't get a first.
It seems like this is their way of still getting a first, where it's not the immediate value of this year's first round pick. All right, you know what? You take A.J. Brown, you draft in the first round, and we'll let you see if that bet you're placing on this year's team for you actually pays off, where that first round pick ends up worse.
We've got another update here. A big-time free agent, offensive lineman, though. They need love, too, as well. Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens signed with the Raiders. 3 years, $81 million, $60 guaranteed. He was top 5 free agents available in all the list. Everybody.
Yeah. So here's my question with that. It's hard for me to understand why you and I know Jalen Phillips just left and he was a top 5 free agent, but the Eagles never let guys like that leave.
Never.
Not guys that have been with them for a long time. Jalen Phillips was there for a couple games. But a Pro Bowl level center on the offensive line.
25 years old.
25 years old? Yeah, like normally those are the guys that never leave Philadelphia. So I didn't really understand why they didn't come to a contract. Yeah, like the Raiders signed him. That's a good signing by the Ravens.
Oh, that's a great signing. Yep, you got to protect your.
What's the contract again?
That is 3 years, $81.60 guaranteed
for a center.
And again, you got Mendoza coming, so you have to protect him. And they got some weapons. I'd like to see Mendoza. I want to see him play well. I know you're not a Mendoza guy.
I am not a Mendoza guy.
I am. I'm buying what he's selling. That guy has proven his worth. He was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. Nobody wanted him.
I think he finishes under the Mendoza line.
Oh.
How about that, Ray? Oh! Yep. Give me your top Mendozas. Number one's got to be, was it Ramiro Mendoza, the Yankee pitcher? That looked like he had a nail file every time he threw it because there was so much movement on the pitch.
God.
I think it was Ramiro Mendoza was his name. He was a Yankee in, I think, the tail end of the Jeter era.
I got a Spanish novelist, Eduardo Mendoza. That's all I got.
I know, and you would say that anyway. You're a big Spanish.
Exactly. Jeez.
All right. Anything else? Not as we hand it off to Colarulo and Rigabo?
I'm waiting for the Jalen Carter news. It feels like that could be something that could potentially hit the timeline, right? They said that this is going to be a point of emphasis for them to keep the band together, whether it's Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. They nailed Jordan Davis already from the weekend. Give me Jalen Carter so I could take a little bit of a exhale, right? Because I didn't like those trade rumors.
All right, what happens first? A.J. Brown traded or Jalen Carter extension? Right?
Carter extension.
Really?
Wow.
Well, then it's also he doesn't get traded. So you still believe he gets traded?
I'm still leaning him to get traded.
What do you got? What percentage?
I'd stay at 55.
55?
The fact we got past noon means a little bit to me. I figured you'd start to plan out your roster for 2026 with the idea of what's going to happen.
Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast. By the way, we have Zach Berman on the Michael Carter II renegotiated deal with the Eagles. Not cut. He remained under contract. The Eagles restructured that deal to keep him.
Yeah, so it just changes the cap hit and whatever else.
Apparently, Luis Mendoza is Mighty Ducks, too. Just saying.
The goalie.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, all right. I've watched some Mighty Ducks recently. A couple of them.
Never hit me. I was not a Mighty Ducks fan.
I wasn't a fan as a kid. I think it got me at the wrong time because I was in high school.
Do I got to go watch Mighty Ducks now?
With the kids.
Okay.
With your daughter.
All right.
My kids loved it. Nice. Little Giants, kids loved it.
Little Giants, a good movie.
Yeah, I watched that originally when it came out.
That's a good movie.
It's a Mighty Ducks, good movie. Like Mike, good. Like kids loved, like Mike.
Okay.
What's the?
You know what I just rented yesterday? Zootopia 2.
You know what I saw in the movie theater yesterday?
What?
Hopper.
Oh, you went. It's Hopper.
Hopper.
How was it?
When we were in Disney, we saw the preview.
Yeah.
It was coming out. I think it came out this weekend.
All right.
It was excellent.
Really? Well, I want to see that and go.
I cried a couple times.
You cried?
I cried every movie.
At Hopper?
Yes.
It's a kid's movie. What are you crying over?
Well, when I don't want to spoil the details of the movie. I can't give a spoiler.
I can't ruin Hopper on me.
Well, the grandmother dies. It was very emotional at the end.
Yo, it's Zootopia 2 was a little bit.
Was it emotional?
Yeah, there were some moments. Did you watch Zootopia 1?
No.
Oh, great film. Great flick.
No, it was at the movie tavern.
Ray, you have kids. Next thing you know, you're watching these movies, all right? Cartoon type.
I fell asleep in the first 20 minutes of it for like 5 minutes, and then I was awake after that.
At the movie? That's a great spot.
Yeah, because I'm reclining. I'm already tired because of the friggin' time change.
And they bring beer right to you. All you got to do is hit the button. You can get a steak there.
We have a YouTube chat recap. All right, we better get to it quickly. Go ahead, Ray.
It's time for the YouTube chat
I didn't know we had it today.
recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you
something else.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
I go for it.
Billy C. is dressed like he came back from jury duty. He's the reason the case has extended. If Bayless from the YouTube chat.
He came back.
Shift, don't miss.
All right, what's next?
Easy Ray with your situation rooms. This is a family program. Dawood Spriggs from the YouTube chat.
Good point.
What goes on in that room?
Yeah, good.
We always needed an edge. Phillips was never coming back, nor was he worth bringing back at that ridiculous number. Mar from the YouTube chat.
Yeah, Marv, you didn't say that on Friday that he was never coming back. Maybe you did. I don't know. But he's not coming back, so who cares? All right, what's next?
Sean talked me and himself into a chub. Matt from Percy.
It happens. I have that effect on people.
All right,
A little richer than I expected Phillips to get regardless of destination. If he stays healthy, it's more than worth it. Kyle.
It's more than worth it. All right.
It's a lot of money, but he could produce. Yeah, sure, I'm with you.
By the way, not an insider, but Angry Al on my text board said A.J. Brown will not be traded.
Okay.
Who also has been saying all along that he doesn't want to be traded, and the podcast, Parsons podcast, proves it. So he's been awful all along. So there you go.
Well, hopefully, we have a little bit more action for the Birds tomorrow.
Do we have any Eagles moves by the time we're in here?
Well, I hope not.
20 hours?
They always get the news. They always get the moves.
I swear. I swear. At 2:03, if something comes down, I'll be livid.
We get some news, though.
What?
Not enough for a midday show.
Okay. Well, we could always get some more. Coming up next, the guys, unfiltered, Ricky and Bill Sam.
Now.
Free agency. Elsewhere in the Philadelphia sports landscape tonight, the 76ers in Cleveland to take on the Cavaliers. They'll be without